I don't drink coffee podcast.
I don't drink coffee podcast.
I drink a lot of coffee. Trent's in the house with us today. We're going to jump right into things, and what I want to talk about, and right off the bat, is that right there.
This fat mic?
If you're doing that, back and forth.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I just was wondering if it's making sound in the mic when you jerk it like that.
Headphones.
Yeah.
When I jerk it, there's a lot of sound usually.
Oh, okay.
And ends in tears and sobbing.
Oh, God.
Doesn't everybody when they masturbate?
And you're like, what is happening?
What are you talking about? I wasn't talking.
Oh,
Who said that word?
Where are we
Nobody said
going
that
with
word.
this?
I wasn't
Where we
talking
going
about
with
that.
everybody end up on the floor crying and feeling icky.
Dude, see, that's another soundbite like the one we had where you're talking about the dog gooch is probably one of probably the funniest moment of the podcast up to date, up to this moment.
Think so?
Without a doubt for me. I can't speak for everybody.
Well,
It was the funniest thing that's ever happened. That whole collection right there was the funniest thing.
you did laugh a lot.
I
And
laugh
you
when I
typically
watch
don't
it.
laugh hard.
I laughed every time I watch it. Anytime it comes up, I laugh real hard, just like that. I laugh right along with myself because it's hilarious.
Just as long as we're on the same page, a dog's ass health is no joke.
Yeah, we got to stay up with it. No, I don't
You
do
got
that
it.
though.
You
I
got
make
it.
the vet do that.
You got
but-
to.
Yeah, you got to. You got to
So have your dog's buttholes cleaned out.
You got to express those glands,
Yep.
bruh.
Really? It's what you got to do?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they drag, dude? When they drag on your carpet and all that,
You got to have them cleaned out.
Well, they just kind of squeeze it out like a pimple or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
How much does that cost you? $375?
I don't.
Depends on the vet. Some guys, I think, like it.
There's things you don't look at the cost. You know what I mean? It's got to happen. So what difference does it make?
It's like when
You
the
know?
dog bit into my cat's head and snapped its bottom jaw in two, and so its teeth were hanging down, and it hit in the garage. It was dying,
That's gross. That's
and I took it to the vet, and it cost a lot of money to get it fixed.
Oh, it's like y'all was living in my brain bringing this up. I talked to my old supervisor today and catching up. And I said, what have you been up to? He's like, well, I took my Yorkie to the vet because she's having a hard time breathing, snores a lot. And he goes, so they inserted a stent into her trachea. I said, okay. And he goes, but man, she's got a lot of energy now and she's, bouncing around. I said, awesome. He goes, yeah, what do you think that costs? And I was like, oh man, I bet like $2,300. And he goes, try $7,000. I was like, dude,
$7,000.
he loves his dogs though. But I'm like, man, oh man.
Dude, that's why I don't have any dogs.
Yeah.
They die, and I get real sad. And I've had a whole bunch of dogs my whole life, right?
Oh, yeah.
You remember.
I remember.
Like, even in high school, we'd be sitting downtown, and my whole pack of dogs, 7 or
Right.
8, 9 dogs, would be behind my truck just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they would come to town and find me. And so, but one by one, they died, of course, right? And I don't have it in me anymore to deal with it. I'm just like, no. And Kaysen has asked if he wanted he's like, Daddy, I want a dog. And I'm like, all right, you going to clean up after it? Nope. Okay. He don't even lie to me and say yes.
And
He just says no. I'm like, well, there you go. And everybody's like, you're not going to get your son a dog? I'm like, when you ask him the first question of owning a dog, if he's going to clean up after the dog, and he says no, he don't really want a dog in my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm not about
those dogs died one by one, don't you?
no.
Didn't get that anal gland cleaned out.
Oh,
Bro.
I was fixing to say, I was like, did you know somebody that killed my dogs? Because I would go find them right now.
Dog owner.
Yeah, pet ownership's like home ownership. It never really stops. It's a constant maintenance.
Right.
My
Exactly.
dog now, y'all hear us when we're playing video games.
Mm-hmm.
She's gone totally nocturnal. Sleep during the day, and at night, as soon as that video game fires up.
So that really is when she fires up?
Oh, yeah, dude, I swear, she can hear it or something. I don't know how, but as soon as I turn that thing on, she's like, oh, hell no.
She knows she got that headset on. She's like, the man around here can't hear. I've got to take over. I got this. Go ahead, Trent.
I got you 6, Pops.
Let me outside, though, real quick. And then I'm going to walk back in, but I need to go check.
And then I'm going to walk back outside again.
You got the perimeters clear coming in. How many kilos you got, old man?
Right.
Okay, I'm going back out.
It really is about like that. It seems like that
It
for
really
real.
does.
Oh,
It's
I'm
very
telling
funny.
you, like it's like clockwork with her.
It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I can't help it.
Trent sent me a video of her running a raccoon out in the woods, dude. And it was very funny.
Oh
Really?
yeah, they were hooked up.
Just knowing this dog, and what this dog has done, like taking a trip to Louisiana on a truck, at Big V Feeds. It ran up and got on a trailer, or got in
a semi trailer.
Yeah, got in a feed
I
trailer.
didn't know this.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and I guess he went to Louisiana, dropped a load off or whatever, and that's when he.
Yeah, we got her microchipped, and we used to have a.
Oh, is that how you found her?
Yeah, we had a blue
Oh,
heeler
okay.
too, and she never runs off from the property. When we had that blue heeler, they would, and so one time she got picked up by the pound, so we went and got her, and we got a call and said, "Hey, this is so and so with this life chip or whatever it's called, and we have someone's got Aspen." I said, "Well, great. What's the address? I'll go pick her up." And she's like, "Well, they're based out of Austin. This place, I guess, the call center." And she's like, "I better put you on the phone with the individual who has her." So I get on there, and he's like, "You got a dog named Aspen?" I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "White bull terrier?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I got her." And I was like, "Great, where's she at? I'll come get her." And he goes, "Baton Rouge, Louisiana." I was like,
That's
"You steal
insane,
my damn dog,
dude.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
I was like, "Man, dude stole my dog. He's calling me to rub it in or something." And he said, "You live by Big V Feeds?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I made my first stop in Baton Rouge and opened up the semi-trailer, and she's back there laid up on some feed sleeping." He said, "Man, if you don't mind, she's been great." He goes, "I'll make my trip back around in about 3 days, and I'll just drop her off."
Well, you ain't got a choice.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
either he leaves her there and you go pick her up in Baton Rouge,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, I was thinking about it. He was like, "I gotta go to New Orleans basically to get my dog."
I would have went and got my dog.
Yeah,
I'd
You
have went in the vehicle and went and got her.
you wouldn't have waited a couple of days
100%. No.
Let the dog live a little.
Yeah. Oh, he said she had a blast. He goes, "Man," he goes, "if you ever want to get rid of this dog, I'll take her." He goes, "She sat right there in the passenger seat. We'd eat pork rinds." He goes, "She's the best dog." Yeah. He said she slept back in the sleeper with me, and I was like, "You can't eat jars of peanut butter laying around that truck empty." Touch my dog.
For real.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'd be like, I don't trust nobody with my dog.
But the funny thing is, I mean, I have that in my mind when I'm playing, Call of Duty with Trent, when we're playing and she starts barking, that kind of stuff. And then the video he sent me of her,
Fighting the coon.
fighting a raccoon. And I was like, man, this dog has just been, I mean, there's other stories he's told me over the years. And I'm like, this dog is just, there's no end to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is always into something.
We got in a bind the other day. She ate some of Mama's chickens and ducks.
Oh, yes. And that's another one you were telling me about.
So Amy's like, "That dog has ate the last of my birds around here." I was like, "Oh, Aspen, you got to start living right, girl."
I thought you built a big, nice chicken
I
house.
did. She let them out.
Why would she do that?
She likes to let them out. Free range chickens, bro. It's, we're
Yeah, man. You got to let a chicken live. You want to let the dogs live?
Well, if you got the dog around, you can't.
I gave Ben a hard time because his dogs were kennel dogs, and I said, "Man, let them dogs run." He's like, "Can't do it, dude. Can't do it."
Kept your dogs in kennels?
Not a kennel, a big. It had a great big cage like the size of this room.
Chain link fence like a kennel.
Oh, yeah.
It had a great big dog house. I still feel bad about that. I should have never done that. Should have never done it.
Man, I hope PETA don't watch this when they're going to hammer us. I got a chicken eating dog. You had yours in kennels.
You're just fighting raccoons.
But see, now I'm the opposite. My Yorkie sleeps in the bed with me, okay? Next to me until I start to fall asleep, and then it goes sleeps by Brandy because it's afraid I'm going to roll over on it. Because I did roll over on it when it was a puppy and almost killed it. So she won't. As soon as my breathing changes, Brandy told me as soon as my breathing changes to my sleeping breath, she gets up and goes and lays down by her.
It's so strange. I think you've told me that before, but it's still very strange to me.
Well, you got to understand though, dude. Those dogs have gotten out a couple of different times, and I scour the earth. I don't go to work. Nothing happens till those dogs are found.
They're show dogs, man. Their hair fall out. And stuff.
I think they're Pomeranians.
You stress them out too much.
Hey, I get up and go find them.
That's what happened to my cat when I took her to the vet when she ran underneath my truck and broke her leg.
Yeah,
I took her to the vet.
Over. She didn't run under your truck. You ran her over.
Yeah, and a million times I had pulled into my garage and she has never gotten in the way. And that one time she ran underneath my truck and I ran her over.
Hey man, that's our luck. We were at Missouri the other day scouting, and I should have said that. This won't be out before the open. But anyways, I'm
gonna have it out tomorrow.
I bet you will. Anyways,
I'm not kidding.
Andrew just
Wait, the opens this weekend?
next weekend.
Oh, I'll have it out way before then.
Well, if you see this, then we were in Missouri already. Andrew got a brand.
Are you not supposed to be there?
Oh no, you can.
He don't want to tell people where he's going,
I don't
bruh.
want everybody to know where I'm
Okay,
at.
well, Missouri's not a small place. You're not.
What do you know about Missouri?
You're not saying Lake Eufaula. Yeah. Even if you were saying Lake Eufaula, it's a big lake.
I'm moving shadows, bro.
You don't like giving out any of the honey holes.
You give no info out.
Knowing what I'm doing.
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
I feel you. I'm the same way.
But Andrew got a new Denali Duramax, nice truck. And he hurt his knee first night scouting, so I got driving duties. I'm driving, and deer runs inside the truck. And I was like,
come on.
And he looked at me like, dude, and I was like, dude, like, what are you going to do? It's a stupid thing. Like, it ran into us. And we got lucky and it just broke a little plastic piece around the fender well, but didn't hurt the body panel. But I was like, oh, gosh.
Yeah, that sounds right. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm supposed to get a new truck at work, and I'm waiting.
That's why you never buy a new truck or drive anybody's new truck. Just don't do it.
That's what. When I get my new truck, I see deer every day at my job, and one's going to run into that new truck. I know as soon as I get it. So just waiting on that to happen.
Deers really are the assholes of nature.
Yeah,
yeah, and not nothing good about them really. I mean,
backstrap.
They taste good.
Yeah,
but other than that, they're just kind of assholes.
I was going to eat some tonight. Matter of fact, until we decided the podcast.
Mm-hmm. They're delicious. I'll give them that. But they love to torpedo and stuff.
Some backstrap.
Yeah, but I was going to make it like a roast. You know what I'm saying? Like leave it whole and cook it in the Instapot.
Oh,
some potatoes.
That's like also the wily coyote. Very smart animal. Sometimes can be difficult to hunt. They love getting ran over by vehicles, though.
Yeah. Or it's kind of like fish, they're really, hard to fish. Mm-hmm. But when you're going to shoot them.
Oh, it's easy.
Like the bow fishermen do. It just don't make any sense to me,
It's so easy.
It's like deer running in your truck. It's just, just so easy.
Yeah. He hates it. I don't even know how we're friends.
It's very funny, dude.
I just love giving you hell about it. Really, it's not even you that I love giving hell about. It's people on Facebook that never say a word back to me when I talk all this smack. Nobody says anything ever. I want someone to engage.
Don't you know Facebook's not about engaging? It's about sharing dank memes and
word.
Evidently so.
And that's about it. I mean, Facebook's really just man.
If
it wasn't my marketplace, I wouldn't have Facebook.
Really? You don't like watching people's struggles on there?
That's where my parents get their news, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm like on this Twitter game, dude.
I'm getting on that train.
That's where it's at, dude.
I'm everywhere.
Facebook,
I'm everywhere. You name it, I'm there.
It's rad. It's forever rad. Well, now they got people they hack into it and everythit's an $800 vehicle, and you're like, yeah, I know that's fake.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah,
yeah. So I hate that. But marketplace is cool. Facebook kind of just, like I said, it's either people's struggles or it's some memes or something like that. But Instagram, not a big Instagram guy.
I'm more Instagram than TikTok's a big thing, because you got the boys playing sports and that kind of thing like that, and that's where we post that kind of stuff, to kind of keep the ball rolling. Now that I've learned that that's a huge part of getting exposure or whatever, then we kind of pick that up. That's why I spend so much time.
Yeah, because you've been doing, which is what I wanted to start off with, is you've been doing the C4, or Carter has, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I want to talk about that a little bit.
What else?
Damn, you hitting the C4 pre-workout?
Yeah,
I hit C4 pre-workout one time.
Headache.
One time. No. Got very lightheaded and had to lay down. And I laid down on the couch in the middle of the day, and I woke up with the worst earache of my entire life. Which I know the C4 had nothing to do with it. I was getting sick. So, but still, it's kind of like when you're sick and you eat a burger and then you get sicker. You know it wasn't a burger, but you'd never eat that burger again.
Dude, my boys dry scoop C4.
Oh, yeah, I've seen people do that.
That's what I'm saying. None of it. I dry scooped.
I can't do it. I can't do that, but they do it. I've seen them
dry scoop some of that dry peanut butter before.
I still have it in there.
Ooh,
good stuff.
That'll make a man think twice, bro.
Grow a little hair on your chest.
So C4, tell us about it.
Well, I mean, it's
the people that don't know
the part that Carter's doing. I mean, there's a lot of facets to it, but the thing.
Let's say if you got a 6th grader or 7th grader, 8th grader that's wanting to get into C4, and their parents are like, "What's this C4?" That's what I want. That's how I want you to explain it.
Okay. Well, the first way I heard about it, I'll just give you a real short background.
And I also want you to explain it. Like if you're wanting to, I also want you to explain.
That's all you do. But one more thing, one more thing.
I also want you to explain it as if you were going to try to talk a person into it or out of it, or however you would do it in real life.
Okay, well then that's kind of where I was going to start
And
with. Yeah,
Get to do the pen and paper thing and write down these questions.
but go ahead. I mean, you got it, bruh. Go ahead. No, well, the first time I heard about it was when Gavin was in high school, and I think he was a junior the first time he came to me, and Coach Maisie, the head coach, said something to these guys about there's a guy down in Durant that has like a gym, and he's doing it's training speed and agility and a lot of things like that. And Gavin's like, I don't know, it kind of sounds like maybe like a scam a little bit, like it's teaching you how to be fast or whatever, and he was kind of blowing it off. So I didn't think that much about it. I had never heard of it, never heard of anything just exactly like it. So I was like, well, if he's not into it, then we're not going to worry about it. So we didn't do anything. And then when Gavin's a senior, he's telling me Eric McCarty is going down there. So he was starting to get a little more interest in it because Eric was doing it, and Eric was kind of bragging on what all he was learning and those kind of things like that. And Eric was having some really big success, when Gavin was a senior. Eric was really starting to shine, as a running back and everything else. He's really picking up and doing really well. And so I started paying a little closer attention, and whenever Gavin went through the recruiting process and all that, and we kind of dealt with all this stuff, and we were looking around. We're really inexperienced because nobody's went to college to play any sports in my family or anything like that, so we didn't have any background. And so I kind of blew all this stuff off. Well, they were telling me about 7-on-7, and the football program, they do 7-on-7 in the summertime anyway, and that's the only way I'd ever heard it was high schools doing it. Kind of as it's a competition, but it's like a friendly competition in the summertime. So I didn't know about it. I mean, you see it on like Texas football, they do it. It's, you read about it and that first thing and another about that. But up here, I didn't really pay that close attention to it. But as it went on, I noticed that there's a lot of recognition, a lot of exposure, I guess would be a better term for it, through these 7-on-7 tournaments. And they're big. They're huge in Texas. I'm talking 30, 40, 50 teams per tournament. Huge in all age groups. And I mean, it's basically like travel baseball, but it's for football. Mm-hmm. And so it starts to gain. I mean, a lot of people knew about it, but I didn't know about it. I'm small town Oklahoma. I mean, we always just showed up after hauling hay in the summertime and played. I didn't know anything about it. Well, I noticed that Eric was getting a lot of attention. He's an excellent athlete. And I always wondered why Gavin was, he got, obviously got attention and things like that, but I always thought it was strange. I couldn't figure out, I thought it was COVID, but the more I'm into this 7-on-7 thing, there's media. There's a lot of recruiting guys that came to this tournament we went to this last weekend in Durant. There's a lot of exposure for guys, D1, D2, all the way down. Media shows up to these things and talks to people, and you're playing against guys that are in the Houston area or Dallas, or you're playing against some of the top players in the nation. You're out there playing 7-on-7, and so people are out there looking at them. So your kid's getting some good exposure. And I didn't know all this, right? I had Gavin in it. It was one of those things that I feel like we missed out on in the process of, if your kid dreams of playing college ball, in any sport or whatever, you're kind of always, especially if you don't have any background, it's hard to know what to do, and with Gavin, I feel like we kind of missed the boat on a bunch of it because we didn't know. And so with Carter, Carter wants to play some college ball and that kind of thing like that. So, how you do, we're trying to do everything we can. So we get involved, I find out, well, hey, let's contact them, see what it takes to get in on this deal. And come to find out it's a little bit competitive to get on the team. You don't just get to pay money and go play. You have to go try out, and some of the guys make it and some of them don't. And, if you make it, then you pay your dues or whatever, and then they take your kids to these tournaments, and we go around and start playing. And the cool thing about it is that you can watch the development just like you do anything else extra like that. Whenever you see your kid doing this stuff, you see them starting to advance, and I've started seeing that out of him. And the coaches are, of course, knowledgeable, Sean Cooper, the guy that's Sean Cooper, I can't talk. The guy that owns C4 Performance and Fitness, by the way. he's I wouldn't say, I don't know if I would call it well connected, but I mean, he knows a lot of people, and a lot of kids, a lot of athletes out of his program are going to D1 schools. You know, I mean, they're going and visiting TCU. They're going to well, he got his picture taken with Nick Saban the other day. I saw that. You know, I mean, he has some really good connections, and those things are always a plus. You know, I'm not saying he's out there getting people scholarships. You know, you got, I mean, you got to have ability. That's, you know, that's a given, but every little bit helps. And I feel like that I didn't realize how much, like 7-on-7, if football's your thing, I didn't know how much these 7-on-7 tournaments could mean potentially. So anyway, that's the pitch basically, is that if football is your thing, I mean, people do it in every other sport, you know. Now the downside to me to 7-on-7 is there's a whole half of football that doesn't get to participate in 7-on-7, and that is down linemen. You know, you only got skilled kids doing 7-on-7. But I heard the other day that they're starting to do 5-on-5 competitions where it's down lineman competition. Now I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know how they compete as far as these guys going against each other and all that kind of stuff like that. I don't know. I think that's if it's not a thing, it's long overdue, because those guys are. I mean, you can't have a football team without them. I mean, they're as important as a skill kid, you know. I mean,
or more important.
Or yeah, I mean, you can make mediocre skill kids look good with really good lines. So I'm glad they're doing something about it, but I don't have any info. You know, I can't.
So C4, he's this Sean is the coach.
Yes, he's
the owner of this. Okay, so every team basically has their own name. Or their own,
yeah,
okay.
They'll be, you know.
So
whatever.
C4 is not the actual, like, league name? Or
no, that's the
okay.
team name. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Now, he put on the one in Durant we just went to, the Red River Shootout, I think they called it. Oh, I don't want to get it wrong. Don't quote me on that, but I think that was the name of the tournament. There was 30-something teams there. What's the radio, or is it K10? It's out of, like, Durant and all that, the news deal down there. Yeah. Anyway, they were there. That's the thing I posted on Facebook today, was them coming down there and talking. Somebody was out there recording, and they asked Carter for his Twitter handle so they could tag him. You know, I mean, there's a lot of good exposure. You know, there was kids from all over the place, and we went to Houston. You know,
are there any other teams in Oklahoma other than that one?
Not that I know of.
Really?
Everybody's from Texas. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of Sherman area, and a lot of these kids that are on the C4 team are from, like, there's a kid from Broken Arrow that's on that team. There's a kid from over by Ada. Oh my God, we used to play him.
Colgate.
No, it's a bigger school. Noble.
Oh.
There's a kid from Noble on that team. There's some guys from Durant, some guys from Sherman that come up and they play on that.
Anybody from LaFleur?
No, LaFleur players.
What about Neshoba?
No, I think it's unfortunate. You know, there's some valuable football players.
So how many people are on this team?
Well, it depends on the.
I'm serious.
Well, there's age groups. You know what I mean? There's
okay.
You know, there's like high school guys, and like Carter's 15 and under, and then I think there's a 14 and under.
Does he have one 15 and under team?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and you have to try out.
And there's how many people on that team?
Like on Carter's team, I think there is. I can't remember exactly, but I think there's like 11. No, I think there's maybe 14 kids. Oh, wow. Like that. So, you know, and there's 2 quarterbacks and, you know, receivers and guys that play defense. So they're, you know.
How many people tried out when Carter tried out?
There was a bunch. I don't remember.
57.
57?
57.
I think it was 30-something, but yeah, 28 or something like that. But anyway.
Shoot from the hip next time when he says something like that. 57.
Yeah, 123.
Yeah. I think you're right.
1, 2, 3.
I was thinking about the fall tryouts. There was only 57. The summer tryouts was 123.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long does this last?
It starts at the end of February and goes through April. So, and they're talking about having one more, maybe at the beginning of May. But now, and another thing is the 26th of May, he has a pro day showcase at C4's facility down in Durant, and there's going to be D1 and D2 coaches there and some media people there, and it's just for C4 people.
Nice.
It's not for anybody else, and he's invited these coaches that he knows to come down and look and see what talent they've got. It's all about, he's trying to help these kids get go play the next level. That's the big thing. So
a 7-on-7, it's blowed up. It's like basically the equivalent of like AAU ball for basketball.
Oh,
yeah,
dude, we went to Houston, and
Yeah.
that was the very first one we ever went to.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Are you kidding?" I guarantee there was at least 1,000 people there. I mean, it was a huge. There was probably 10 or 15 games going on at once, and it was over 40 or 50 acres. I mean, it was huge, dude. Big banners telling you which field was which, and people everywhere. It was crazy.
You think about it. If you're a D1 coach, D2 coach, you're going to go look at for athletes. You turn on some tape. Someone's high school may not have the best angle. It's up high, poor camera quality. You're out there on the field, seeing what kind of frame these kids have, what they can be, what they can turn into, how athletic they are against other athletes because they're not playing some weak school. Everybody out here on these 7-on-7 teams, skilled players, probably pretty good. They made teams. So you're getting a better read of what kind of athlete you're going to be getting. So
it gives guys and quarterbacks. It gives guys that go to schools where they're more run heavy, but they're kind of a passing quarterback. It gives them an opportunity to get out and show people they can throw. And
we're from southeastern Oklahoma. We run the bone around here, baby.
Yeah.
We ain't throwing that ball around.
It's not tackle, right?
No.
No. You have 4 seconds. There's no rushing or anything. You have 4 seconds to throw the ball, and I mean, the scoring thing has been different at every tournament we go to, but of course, scoring's 6 points, and an interception is a pick six is 6 points, and they get 3 points, I think, for a regular interception. It's single touch football, single touch and you're down. First downs are worth a point.
Is it one below in shirts versus skins?
No, it's not backyard, man. I wish they'd do
down.
that. I wish they'd do it.
So you
Sometimes
guys,
they do 2 below. That was real.
Oh,
that was tough.
that could get a little hairy.
I mean, I get fights going. We get 2 below business going.
So you guys pay one-time fee,
That's what we did, yeah.
and then it's
Hey, can I get this on a payment plan?
You're going to want to. One-time fees up there, you know what I'm saying? You got to want to be there, I promise you. Well, that's what I say about you try out for it, and you're like, awesome, he made it, cool, and then they are like, okay, well, now it's this amount for you to play.
what are we talking about? How much?
That's kind of a private question.
Well, I'm just saying in general, around about what?
50,000.
Does everybody pay the same amount?
I have no idea. That's why I hate to say.
Oh, okay.
30K.
Well,
All right.
I know that I won't say who, but I know that there's a person out there who funded one of the kids to go play. A guy from McAlester funded another McAlester kid so that he could play because he made the team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which I thought was cool.
Very cool.
And I don't want to get in, because that's their business, whatever they're doing. But I thought that was a pretty neat thing, and it shows the dedication to the program around here, that kind of thing. That whole game. So
For sure.
it's big business around here. Everybody knows about McAlester. It's funny talking to these guys. Like I work with a guy from Stigler, and he knows what's up over here. They know it ain't no joke.
What's up over here?
We like to win around here, and that's what
We do.
Not too many years ago, it wasn't that way. It was like, oh, y'all going to McAlester, dude? That's tough, bro. That's tough. I know.
It is strange how it can turn around real fast.
Well, it's like hitting. Hitting's contagious. Well, winning's contagious. You get one program that's starting to win a lot. Well, every other program, they're like, hey, we got to pick our game up here. There's no reason for this one thing to do it all. And now all of a sudden, it's like we're a force in every sport. Which I thought was cool.
Very cool.
I mean, we're getting a lot of people from Wilburton coming over and playing because people want to win, that kind of thing like that. I get it, but
I live in McAlester, and we're playing in Wilburton. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Never forget.
How many kids are on that team?
Oh, I don't know.
Brecken signed up.
Yeah, he signed
T-ball.
up. Mini ball, but we're going to play T-ball rules, I guess. I didn't know there was a thing as mini ball.
I was
What
going to
is
say,
that?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
It's just to get,
Because we were a mini ball team. They said, oh, they're going to make us play T-ball. So
to
we're
get,
doing T-ball
I guess,
rules.
to let the younger kids get involved
Yeah.
sooner. I mean, it's the way it should be. If they want to play, sooner the better.
I laughed. You said herding cats is at 4 years old. That's exactly what it is. His team's like 3 and 4 year olds.
Dude, 12-year-old, you're still herding cats.
They're just having a blast out there.
I started both of mine at 4 years old.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it was, I don't feel like it hurt them a bit. Of course, and you can only take it so seriously, but,
Right.
and I didn't, I went out there, hey, pay attention, but.
I made Brecken run laps the other day. You want to listen?
Well, I mean, the sooner you can get them in it and get them loving it, I mean, if you can give it to them in a way where they like it, it's cool to watch. I mean, by the
Like
time they're 10 years
dinosaurs.
old, yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I took it too serious with Kaysen in soccer, and I ruined it for him.
Did you?
Yeah, he still remembers it.
Did
And he was a
did you
little
kick the
bitty
ball and
guy.
hit him in the face with it.
No, man, but I was.
Did you make him like try to block the goal and you're
dude?
kicking
I
the
was
ball?
younger, and he just wouldn't he wouldn't engage.
Mhm.
He wanted to run alongside everybody and alongside the ball, but he didn't want to nobody get close to him. So he always would keep his distance. But he'd be running, but he'd act like he'd go up there and he's going to hit that ball, but somebody else would be kind of close, and he'd kind of stop and let them kick it, and then he'd run alongside it. But around the house, he's kicking the ball and not even looking. I've got video of him. I mean, he would go around and just kick the ball, and he'd be looking all over the place, and you think he's fixing to smoke the corner of the wall, and he would, boom, kick it and cut. I mean, it was just he had an awesome ability.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got there playing soccer, and I'm like, this kid is going to wreck shop. And it wasn't, I was like, oh my, he really did at home,
With it.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. And get out there. And he's like, I mean, you can see in every picture he took, and he still like that today. He got it from me. But every picture that he took when he was a kid, he would always be standing a foot or two away from everybody else in the pictures. Every picture.
Like just a
team picture
photo, or like just a team picture?
Team picture. They're all standing by each other, shoulder to shoulder, and Kaysen's a foot or two away. He's not standing by nobody. Every picture. So that's the way he played out there on the soccer field, and it would just go all over me, man. And so he can tell you right now, man, he'll be like, "Yeah, I remember you used to get mad at me out there," and that hurts my feelings really bad.
I never did look at it like that, dude. I was always just trying to teach fundamentals, because
I wasn't though. I was out there flipping out for no damn reason.
Well, that's what
I was getting mad for no reason.
If it's about the sport, then you're going to do that. If you're about the sport, and for me, the funny thing
about
is
soccer.
He was little.
Well,
I love soccer, dude.
Well, to me,
I played a lot of soccer when I was a kid.
Like rollerblade hockey, bro. Calm down.
the funnest thing about sports to me is it's just a metaphor. Sports to me it's never been about the ball playing. It's concepts, and there's no other way to teach some of them that you learn playing sports. So I always just like, what I want you to learn is you need to do it right. When you do something right, you want to do it the right way. We want to use good fundamentals. We want to spend time working on it, and then the success will come with it. You know what I mean? Because when you do it right, because most people don't. If you'll look, most kids have bad form doing something, right? So if you got good form, you're going to be better than them. I know this because my kids are now 19 and 15. You know what I mean? And when I watch Carter throw the ball, and he throws it right, and then I watch other kids throw the ball that are his age, and they don't throw it right, and he has success, I'm just like, see, this is why. This is why whenever you're throwing the ball and you're pushing the ball to me and all that, I'm like, no, man, let's do rep. We're doing it like this. Watch this video. Yeah. And I don't just let him watch videos of Tom Brady throwing touchdowns. No. I want to watch him throwing the ball over and over and over again and go, look at his feet. Look how he stops. Look at his arm. Look where it comes over the top. It's not sideways. It's not pushing the ball. Look at his wrist. We would break down fundamentals and I didn't know any way to teach that. It just always, one thing that I would like hitting a baseball, right? Like I had really good natural batting. My dad's even said that to me. He's like, you had the most natural swing I've ever seen in my life, but I sucked at baseball. I was awful at it because he didn't know how to teach me how. He just knew I could naturally swing the ball or swing the bat and it looked good. But nobody told me about keep your eye on the ball, swing to the middle of the ball, where to put my feet, none of that. It was just like get up there and if you can't naturally get up there and hit the ball, well, then go to right field, motherfucker. Go over there and stand and be still. You know what I mean? I mean, that's how I was taught, so, but, and I watched kids that had fundamentals and they're, watch their dads get out there and they'd hit the ball into the fence 200 times before we'd start practice. And this kid walk up there and hit the ball deep left, bounce it off the fence every time whenever we're 9 years old. I'm like, I see. I didn't know how to, I didn't know what it meant till I got older, and then you go to, the process is, for me, was always, let's do it right. I want you to look a certain way. Yeah, it needs to look, there's a reason why these people do this. They do it a certain way. So that was, and it always, for me, the cool thing is watching that develop. And then whenever they hit it to the fence, you go, see, dude, this is the whole thing. You know, this is why we spend all these hours. And then it doesn't seem so much like you're giving them this magic thing they're never going to see. Then they, you know, you can go, see, motherfucker, that's what I'm talking about. And they're like, I see. And then they take and run with it. You know, that was the fun part for me. But
that's like when we coach baseball. I tell them, like, at the end of every practice, you kids got to watch baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You got to like go home. I don't care. You ain't got to sit and watch the whole baseball game. Like, get on YouTube, watch baseball players, though. How do you carry yourself? The way you move. I mean, like, them kids don't watch baseball no more. It's like the most boring thing in the world. So how you gonna know how to look out there? You know, it's a big part of it. Well, I ain't saying bat like Jose Canseco over there.
Right. You should.
You know.
Julio Franco.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. But and that's what I would say. Like whenever they had Gavin playing running back, we would watch Adrian Peterson videos. Because at the time, Adrian Peterson was kind of the man, you know, whenever he was real little.
He's a taller running back, Gavin the taller.
You can definitely still watch Adrian Peterson videos and learn a lot.
Well, and the thing is not to watch touchdown runs. That's not it. I don't give a damn where he ends up.
Right.
You know, I'm like, look, when they hand him the ball, what's his body look like? What are his hands doing? Which side of his, you know, which hand is up? Which hand's down? Depending on which way the ball's getting handed to him. I wanted him to know those things. So when he walks out on the field, he's got a... He had an advantage because he already knew a bunch of that stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of, and that's why that the big rule was, if all you do is go to practice with everybody else, you're going to look like everybody else.
Yeah.
If you want to do something more, you know, and that was always the thing. Well, I want to play pro baseball or I want to play pro football. And I'm like, okay, well, if you want to play a down past high school, you got to have grades and you got to be able to do this, 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 and this. And Gavin always listened. I mean, he kind of spoiled me, you know. He was always just like a student, you know what I mean? He's like, okay, real coachable, you know, so. Which Carter tries to kill me. You know, he thinks he already knows. But
well, it's like us. We're right in the
guys.
What?
I don't practice my Call of Duty, and that's why I am what I am, and that's on me.
Well, you don't have to say that to us. We know.
I apologize for that.
We already know why you are.
You know
the
what?
way you are.
You know what the saddest thing is that whenever we were playing Rainbow Six, like before Call of Duty ever came out, and I was playing, I was awful. You know, I'm talking about.
He was where you are.
Small children were way better than me. I get beat by 10-year-old kids all the time. So I
think we get beat by 10-year-olds still all the time there.
But I got to where I'd play, if I had time during the daytime, I'd go play for a couple hours and I'd work on it. I'd watch how some things I got off Ben, what he would do because he has one guy, he'll figure out a thing with one guy.
Fuse.
And so I would watch like maybe how he peek corners.
Being to have things with multiple guys though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Very true. Those are the things I really like to watch.
It's talented.
Yeah,
you know it.
Anyway, so
but I would practice, dude. I mean, I hate to say that, but I would because for one thing, you know,
we took Rainbow Six a lot more serious. So for you to get on our, because you can only have 5 people on a squad, right? And all 5 people. They have a job to do. I know it sounds stupid to the non-gamers. Yes, but and there you go. You know, you can play Call of Duty with us all day long. No one's kicking you out because it's a run and gun type. You know, whatever. But Rainbow Six is a completely different type of game. If they hadn't changed it so much and all that, I'd still be playing it because it was freaking awesome.
Very precision driven, and that's the thing is, I would be that shitty friend that Ben would bring along. You know what I mean? They'd be like,
right, and it'd be really hard they'd
be pissed. You know what I mean?
They'd kick me off. You know, they'd be like, all right, we're gonna have to. They'd play with somebody else the next night if they saw that I was on and LJ was on. You know,
because Ben could always play, and that's the thing I'm learning about playing video games is like the longer I've played, I pick these games up faster now. You know, before when all I'd played was Battlefield 3, and then we started playing that game, I was lost.
I still know how to play that game.
Well, you know, and it's the more you play, like just like we play Call of Duty a bunch. So the next thing that we go to, the next game, even though it might be a different type of shooter, you'll at least have done what you've done. So there's some things that kind of segue.
If you went back to Rainbow Six and played it, you would like it a lot more than you did before. But it's still it's a very much different game than Call of Duty.
Well, and it depends on what drives you to, because I don't like I hated being like the shittiest one. That was the thing that drove me nuts. Is like everybody's taking it, like everybody gets pissed when you lose a round. Everybody's like,
"It's not the same as Call of Duty."
It really don't bother me at all.
Like at the end of it,
no, I'm talking about Call of Duty. Or I'm talking about Rainbow Six.
You know what I mean? And you're like, that was, you knew that it was you that caused it. I'm like, oh God, I don't want to be that, And I would catch myself. I wanted to play. It was fun.
I like to play.
But it's like anything else. I mean, once you get to a certain point where there's not that much of a challenge to it anymore. And not to say that I got to be like tournament quality or nothing
world
like
class,
that,
bro.
Well, I mean, you get to where you're playing and you're winning all the time. Then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, I'm ready to go do something else. But,
yeah, I remember when Kaysen logged in on mine and played ranked, which you can play casual, and it doesn't keep any stats and it doesn't mess up your kill death ratio and all that. He played on ranked with his friends on my account. I was like,
I ruined video games for my son that day too.
And see what happens is when you get deeper into the season, your shots and your kill death don't change as much, right? Okay. Because you've already laid down a lot of bullets. So the more bullets. So when he played, it was at the beginning of that season. So it's when you can.
It set him up there.
Big. Yeah,
it was.
Low. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. It was bad. I didn't
flip out, didn't you?
Yeah, I did flip out, but in a mild way.
Don't you ever
but
get
I
on my PlayStation.
That little bitty case, he's looking up at me like, "Oh man, I messed up. I didn't know." I was like, "Golly, man!" I was like, "Don't ever do that again."
You had to buy a new controller. You're like, "You see this? Bam! That's you next time you do that."
Yeah.
But we're in the middle of baseball season. You brought that up about putting in more work, extra work, and so now we're doing football training, at Top Prospect here in McAlester with Coach Burgess, and I'm highly impressed, and that's the very reason why. And I told you guys in our group chat, but I remember when probably the last foot race I was in, it was against my brother, and my mom videoed it, okay, and we got to get set, ready to go, and Daniel gets down in that 40-yard dash sprint, stance. And I'd never been taught that. I don't know how to launch. I just launched from up above, and I've always been real fast.
I heard that about
and then he beat me by a freaking inch, man. And I'm like,
winning's winning though, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So and so really for Kaysen, for me, I mean, there's a lot of football involved in it. We're doing receiver stuff and all that, and other things. He whatever position you play, he's working in that too, in the training. But it's really more, and it's the speed and agility, and that's really what I've always wanted. I'm like, man, I want him to be. I want someone to teach him how to run.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fast, and I'm fast, but I can't teach him that.
Well, it's just like Gavin told me when he got to college.
You just say you can't teach speed,
right?
That damn fast, are you player?
Real fast.
Real fast.
Yeah.
You're like almost 40 years old, bro.
I'm still real fast.
Sling gravel when he runs fast. You know what I mean?
Well, I slung gravel on you that
did
one
do
night.
that. You damn sure did.
And you tried to race me when you got fit. You were like, "All right, let's race." Yeah, oh yeah, dude, you were sizing me up too. I remember that. I was like, "Damn, this
dude's gonna try to take me down."
Yeah, he was like, "Hey man, I want a foot race." And I thought he was joking. I was like, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm serious." I'm like,
"Are you sure?"
"No, you don't want to do this, but okay, we'll do it."
I beat him in a quarterback competition one time 2 years ago, but
no, actually, we tied that whole thing.
Oh, whatever.
Didn't we tie? Brent Fazio was there, Dustin. And Dustin was there. Yeah. And we went through this whole combine at the Warburton High School football field.
We were just too competitive with each other. It was an all-day thing, dude.
It was. Yeah. We tied. I don't remember what all we did.
Y'all did like a punt, pass, and kick.
We did
everything.
We did everything.
We had cones set up. They were like doing.
Yeah,
like
it was an ordeal.
Shuffle, dude.
It was an ordeal.
Yeah.
And we tied at the end. There were some things he beat me and some things I beat him, and it was a freaking tie. I was like, really?
You can tell. You gotta love what you can get, what you can do when you don't have kids. You know what I mean? Whenever if you have really little kids or anything like that, you've always got time for that kind of stuff.
I know. 2 weeks ago, dude.
I want to play pickleball, man.
Where your kids at? All right, baseball practice. Anyway, let's go. Let's go.
I want to play pickleball so bad. I want to get in it, but I know once I do, I won't. You know what I mean? It's going to take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to half-ass it because then.
What the hell is pickleball? I don't even know what that is.
It's miniature tennis in a way. You play in a gym, basically. You got a net set, or you can play outside. You've never heard of pickleball?
No,
dude. It's taking over the freaking world.
Not like cornhole.
Mm-hmm. No,
even bigger than cornhole.
Everywhere, dude.
I think pickleballs.
The Gileses?
I think pickleballs are
They're
right.
like going
Or
to tournaments and
pickleballs.
competing,
Yeah.
dude.
Kyle's daughter is on Serenade's softball team.
Cornhole.
Dude,
Maybe it's. Is it? You think it's as big?
they're winning thousands of dollars.
No, I'm
at
saying
tournaments.
pickleball. Do you think pickleball is as big as cornhole?
I think cornhole's bigger.
I've
I
never
don't know,
heard of
dude.
pickleball. I don't even know what that is, dude.
I don't know. I think actually when you go to places, there's pickle like chicken and was it called chicken and pickle or pickle and chicken or something? I don't know. There's some
Slap and pickle?
there's some big
You're
place
lucky.
up in Oklahoma City where you can go and just hang out and play pickleball and play cornhole and eat and all that kind of. It's like
Sounds like a sex club.
it probably is.
Mm-hmm.
I should go there tomorrow.
I didn't know about this.
Should we shut this down and head that way?
I'm ready. I'm not on call. Let's go. What? Tell me what's
The premise.
I mean, what kind of ball do you have?
It's like a little,
Like a pickle?
Well, it's like a plastic ball, man. I can't really explain it. I played it one time with the in-laws, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, mother-in-law, and father-in-law, and I think Ethan was there. My niece and nephew, we were all there. I think for her birthday. Yeah, and so that's the only time I've ever played it. But the girl that cuts my hair, she's huge into pickleball. Goes all over the place, cuts hair. Goes all over the place and plays pickleball. And so
hairdressers can do it, then anybody can do it.
that's what I said.
I don't mean
I told her.
Hairdressers or nurses? You know what I mean?
She
Come on.
last time she cut my hair, I told her I was going to beat her.
Every working, like every job.
Yeah, we're going to piss everybody off.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be pissed off at us.
Why not? Fuck.
Well, I told her I was going to beat her. I was like, you don't want me to play because I'll beat you probably the first game. Not true.
I'll
though.
beat you because you're a woman. You play something like that, dude.
Miss Vincent plays. Miss Vincent plays.
Yeah.
Okay, and she's huge into pickleball.
Really?
Yeah.
I
And so
know how good
I
we were
want
at
to
tennis.
I want to play
we'll-
Miss Vincent
We'll dominate. Me and Ben used
because
to go
we already beat her and
Mr. Bog.
and Mr. Whoever else was in the smarter than the fifth grader. We already beat her then. So
Overton, I was leaving Sonic. Me and Bracken got him some fries, and I was giggling thinking about that.
but us beating
All of
Miss
our
Vincent and
teachers.
all of our teachers.
They're like,
Yeah.
these booger eating morons barely got out of high school.
And I love Miss Vincent, man, but she didn't even say congratulations or nothing. She didn't say one word to us when we won.
hated it.
Not one word. I was like, oh, maybe she don't remember me. But how does she forget Trent and Ben? I mean, nobody forgets us. Nobody,
No,
especially in Wilburton.
We're rapping in class every day and all
Every
kinds of-
day.
Every day.
Now you're talking about Miss Vincent, like the home
Home
ec
ec.
teacher? Or whatever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember this Otis Spunkmeyer cookies? Was it second period you'd smell them cooking or third?
I think third.
Third.
I don't remember.
Was it $3 for $1?
I mean, I had her class, so I was going in there.
good.
I had her for
Where do you get
that
those cookies at?
and child development, I think. And
If you're selling cookies out there for fundraisers, get the Otis Spunkmeyers if you can. Oh, he's done with it.
is it hurting your head?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hell
I
yeah.
told you to take it off a long time ago.
I know, but I actually forgot about it for a little bit.
Oh gosh, it was like
And then all of a
comfortably
sudden
numb.
it come back with a vengeance and reminded me. It's like, get this off. It's hurt.
Did we talk about your head being sunburnt?
Sunburnt real
so you
bad.
can't wear that's what we're talking about.
Sucks.
If you're not watching us on YouTube, and you should go to our YouTube channel and subscribe.
I got a ball out.
Oh, yes, you should see said ball. Okay,
If you're not watching this on YouTube, get on there now.
It's as red as my head is.
but I don't know. Miss Vincent, she didn't say congrats or anything, or hey, how are you guys doing when we won?
Utter shock. We
It
just
seemed like she
scored
was.
starts
It
everybody
seemed like
did.
she
We
was
ran
mad about
through 'em.
losing. So when I heard that she's a big pickleballer, I'm like, all right, I gotta. And I was told by the girl who cuts my hair, I was told you do not want to play Miss Vincent in pickleball, and I was like,
doubt.
well, so I don't need to start playing pickleball unless I'm going to put, I don't think I need much time though. I think I'm going to be just naturally good at it.
Me and Ben get on weird kicks. We used to play tennis religiously. Like it'd just be even me and him. We'd be like December, like cold as hell out there, dude. We'd go or play tennis till midnight out there.
We'd have a good time.
I'm surprised the neighbors didn't call the cops because those lights were bright over there at Chaddick.
Hey, man, there's
Lights
nothing
come
wrong with
on.
tennis.
We don't turn them on. They come
Tennis
on
is fun,
automatically.
dude.
The pickleball thing, though, kind of sounds a little bit.
It's miniature tennis, man.
She seems, she's a really nice lady, but she's very fragile. So there can't be it's not a very physical sport, I'm guessing. Kind of like playing bridge or something like that.
I'm gonna tell you, I've heard she is a firecracker. You don't want to play her.
Well, she has a horrible temper. Yeah, I made her mad one time.
Oh, you did?
I got in huge trouble because of her. Yeah.
You ate too many of them Spunkmeyers, didn't you?
Well,
You didn't pay for them.
What did you do?
all I did was
I want to know what I did, really, because she didn't say anything to us. And I start thinking about,
You had
what did we do? Did we
you had
make
a
her
rat tail
mad?
haircut for years. She probably remember you as a little kid.
It was before.
Rat tail
No, it was way after that. I had
But
her.
she remembered when you had a rat tail.
I thought she liked me, though. I really did. I thought she liked me.
Rat tail
Evidently,
having ass.
nobody liked me. None of my teachers liked me. And I'm like, why? I mean, I say evidently.
Ben, do you realize you ain't got to wear that retainer like when you're at school? Take it off.
Headgear.
Headgear.
So what'd you do to Miss Vincent?
Well, it's going to be down to a difference of opinion, but I'll tell you the truth as I know it. And that was, okay, we used to have to write down recipes in class, right?
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Well, if you didn't turn your recipes in whenever the day came to cook, you didn't get to eat, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I knew that full well. Well, I didn't write down my recipes, so I knew I wasn't going to eat. I knew that. No big deal. Well, a guy named Gerald Irvin, who is a guy I went to school with for many years, and I got in a lot of trouble with him because he's hilarious. He and I were sitting together and sitting next to each other, and they all line up to go through the line, get food to eat, So I get up, and I'm just walking with Gerald because we're sitting there talking, and she goes, I don't have your recipes, Lucas. You don't get to eat. And I said, I'm not eating. I'm just going to stand here and talk to Gerald while he, and I know she's thinking I'm going to slip in there and grab some food on my way through. And I really did not have that in mind. So, I said, well, I'm not going to,
Partake.
I'm not going to eat. I'm just standing here talking to Gerald. She goes, go sit in your seat. And I honestly said, I go, well, kiss my butt, and turned around and walked off. And Gerald laughed. And she said, go to the office. So
What's the difference of opinion here?
Okay,
You
hold
can't
on. I'm
say,
getting
kiss
to
my
it.
butt to your teacher? No, you
No,
can't say
you can't.
that.
But hold on a minute.
Okay.
Now I'm going to get to the point where we have the disagreement. Okay, so she sends me to the office. Now up to this point, I'm like teacher's pet. You know what I mean? Like I got along with her great. I loved going to her class. She was nice, funny, all these things, right? So I go to the office. Thank God Miss Taylor was on the phone, and I just sat in there for like 20 minutes. The bell goes off for the class. I'm thinking, well, screw it. I'm not going to sit in here. It's time for the next class. I don't want to be late. So I get up, go on. Well, she goes, I guess, later on and tells Miss Taylor, did Lucas come down here? And she's like, no, I never talked.
She did follow up. Not Coach Hangens didn't ever follow up.
Right.
Well,
Same thing happened to me, but I left and never got followed up.
Dude,
Go ahead.
next thing I know, I'm going to football practice, and the phone call comes in. They go, you need to go to the office. I'm thinking, what? Because I'm over it.
You said,
know what
kiss
I
my
mean?
butt.
Well, this is like fourth period. You know what I mean?
Oh.
And I mean, it's been hours ago. An eternity. Whenever you're 17 years old, that might as well happen a year ago. And so I'm thinking, what could I be? Why am I going to the office?
It never even crossed your mind what it could be.
Well, I get down there and they say you got to go to Miss Vincent's room. So I go down there. Well, it's Miss Taylor and Miss Vincent on one side of the table, and my mother
Already
on
there.
the other side of the table. Yeah. So I'm thinking, what is happening? You know what I mean? So I sit down by my mom. They're like, Miss Taylor goes, Mr. Johnson, sit down. She always, when you're in trouble, she always your last name, So I sit down next to my mom, and my mom's looking at me, like, how could you? And I'm thinking, what is happening? What is the deal? So I'm sitting there, and Miss Vincent's not saying anything. Miss Taylor goes, Mr. Johnson, there's certain things you can't say to a teacher. And I'm thinking, we're going to make a big deal. And she goes, and telling a teacher to kiss your ass is not one of the things you can do.
You said Bobo.
And I turned straight around. I said, I didn't say that. And she goes, well, that's what Miss Vincent said. And Miss Vincent's sitting there looking at me like, and I didn't look at anybody else. Didn't look at my mom. I didn't look at Miss Taylor. I looked right at her and I said, you and I both know that I did say, well, kiss my butt. But I did not say ass. Miss Vincent never said anything.
She goes, you just said it. You're just
No, Miss Taylor said it.
Spell him.
Miss Taylor said, you know what I'm saying? No, it's past that point. This is principle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm about to throw some F-bombs around here because I'm getting what I felt like was railroaded. You know what I mean? Now, what I said was not right, but not punishable. It's not a capital offense. Now, telling somebody to kiss your ass in class, you're in deep trouble. And my mom's like, are you kidding me? And I said, that's not what I said. And I said, and that's not what I said. And Miss Taylor goes, I don't care. This is not up for discussion. got 3 days ISS.
Kiss my ass.
Yeah, I told her, I said, well, I wish that's what I'd have said. If I knew I was going to get in trouble anyway, I said, believe me, next time I get in trouble, I'll get in trouble.
It'd be a full ass.
And of course, Miss Taylor's like, you don't want to go down that road, blah, blah, blah. That whole game. And I just sat there,
sulking. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like Aaron Paul on Breaking Bad at that point, I'm like, I'm fed up or whatever. So I go to ISS for her basically fabricating what I did. Took what I said and turned it into something really bad.
Wow.
And now we don't talk.
What was the soundtrack to that? Like at that time?
Maybe that's why she don't like me.
What was you
now.
wallowing in your misery to about
Because
that?
of you.
Something let some anger out. I'm sure you're listening.
Guilt
to
by
something good.
association.
I was listening in those days. It probably would have been Alive by Pearl Jam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Felt railroaded. Felt a little.
So you still get to do football at that time or no?
I went on to practice that day, but I didn't get to practice for 3 days after that. But
Dude's doing hard time, bro. Locked up.
I was a senior. My grades sucked anyway, so I got to practice a lot and didn't get to play in like 3 games my senior year because I'm an idiot.
He did get railroaded.
Yeah.
But
kiss my butt.
I said, well, kiss my butt. And, man, I said it to make Gerald laugh. It's a bad thing about it.
You wasn't saying it to her. It was one of those.
I thought it would be funny. You know what I mean? It's
dang it or whatever.
You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like you didn't think 3 seconds ahead. You just thought, this will get a laugh.
In the moment.
I mean, this shit pops into my head, and I just say it.
Yeah.
And I've always been that way. And it's cost me
dearly.
My whole life, at different points, it's cost me everything a time or two because I don't know when to shut up, So
well, maybe I did the same thing. Not that, but maybe I did something similar to make her mad. I don't know. Maybe she just was having a bad day that day when we beat her.
Hey, man, a lot of people had bad days that day.
A lot of people did.
Made a lot of people have bad days.
Not one question we got wrong.
No.
Not a single question. And I'm going to tell you something right now.
On the planet.
Craziest questions you've ever heard of. And not one question we got wrong. Not one.
Not a one, dude.
Well, hey, that's all that matters.
Flawless victory.
It's the craziest thing. I still get.
He's gonna cry. He's gonna cry. Damn.
I still get beside myself thinking about it, dude, because we didn't miss one question.
You got to maximize your opportunities. I tell my kids that all the time.
What was the question?
With the trophy at Pizza Hut. Dude?
Yes, dude.
I can't remember who it was.
What kind of famous? What kind of artist? Yes, and it was a sculptor.
Yeah.
We never heard of this person. Yeah. We never heard of this person, and we just.
Were you guys Googling the answers?
No, we didn't cheat.
Dude.
We didn't cheat.
Oh, yeah.
But they said,
you guys are
we had going back and forth. I said, it's got to be sculptor, and Ben's like, it's probably got to be sculptor. And I was like, yeah, because why else what other type of artists are there?
Right, painter would be too easy. So we said sculptor. We're kind of right, and it was those kind of questions. It was not when I went down there.
Everywhere. I don't know.
When they said smarter than a fifth grader, I thought you were going to get some fifth grade questions. Okay, we got some Harvard type questions.
Yeah.
They were trying to weed us out real quick.
Harvard types.
Right. Well, we did have an attorney on our team. We had an attorney on our team.
He really didn't pull his weight a whole lot, though. I was a little disappointed.
And we had. What was her name? What's her name? Ticey. We had Ticey. And dude, she was, I mean, I didn't think she was dumb. I'm not going to say that.
Credit. We're going to take all the damn credit. It's your podcast.
Right. Well, I'm going to give her, credit's due. But Ticey was.
The victors do write the history books, you know what I'm saying?
So. She definitely pulled her weight.
If it's up
definitely.
If it's up to me and you were the only ones on the team, we had to fight our way out of there.
We were not. Yeah, right. Yeah. It was so crazy, man. Trent's like, we're gonna go to the smarter than fifth grader competition down in Overton. And I was like,
even doing it.
I don't either. And so I was like, all right, whatever. We went down there.
We didn't have a team. And Tamara said, I got you all a team. And it was the lawyer dude and Ticey. And we're like, all right, let's ride.
Did you guys join up in this like on a whim? Did y'all just somebody tell you they were doing it? You're like, let's go do that.
I didn't even.
We always just we're playing tennis till midnight, dude.
LJ.
We was basically on meth, I think.
LJ.
Making CDs and shit.
Ticey's daughter or somebody, not Ticey's daughter. There was like a 12 or 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
That was sitting down on the other side of the table.
It was Ticey's daughter.
Okay, it was Ticey's daughter, right? Mm-hmm. I thought it was her I was going up against.
So
I sat down and I just started mean mugging her on purpose just as a joke, and I just started laughing. And they're like, no, she's on our team. I was like, oh gosh, because I thought we were
trash talking.
Yeah, I was right off the bat. I was
that's
like,
even funnier that you guys didn't even know what the hell was going on. You end up winning.
I had zero.
That's hilarious.
I had zero clue what was going on. I didn't even know where it was going to be. Trent drove and we rolled up. It was at the VFW and we rolled up and that's
6-year stones,
I didn't know.
Didn't we?
Huh?
We had 6-year Keystones on the way.
We may have. Hell, I don't know.
How many you have, Ben?
Drinking and
7.
driving classic.
7 out of 6. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Just 7 Oscar.
Slid in a tall boy from the house.
But
We bought a
dude,
6er, but I had 7.
I can't explain the
That's how
feeling.
much Ben don't drink. How many 6-years you have? 7. What a nerd.
I can't explain though the feeling. I mean, you see it now. This is not fake.
Yeah.
You know, I cannot control
You got tears in your eyes.
what I'm feeling inside when I talk about us
Strong memory.
winning.
It's core memory.
I don't drink coffee. Us winning the Smarter Than a Fifth Grader competition against a whole bunch of our prior teachers and a lot of people that just didn't like us from Wilburton, right? A lot of people I can name some people, but there was all kinds of teams in there, and each team probably had 1 or 2 people that probably didn't like us, and we mopped the floor,
Swept them
with their ass. Okay,
That's a damn good idea. We should have an I Don't Drink Coffee podcast.
Trivia
I'm
night.
smarter than a 5th grader competition. We should do that.
okay. I'm down. I want to be a moderator because I don't know if I could. We won the first one. You know
You don't want to win your own thing.
right?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, you don't want to.
You don't want to do that.
That's
God
bad
damn.
form. You know what I'm saying?
Not stalker. Not stalker. We're going to do that still. We're supposed to be doing that still too, right? We're supposed to get that going again.
Man, I don't know. Like, it's
a lot of work.
Activity. Like we talking about pickleball. And
We
stuff.
got kids
I
now.
really don't do any sports like that. I can't like hold a beer and do.
Yeah.
You
Nothing
know?
wrong with that.
Yeah, but don't you want to? Don't you want to compete?
I do. That brings up a good topic. I recently just turned 40.
Good
Lucas
gosh.
is 40. Ben's 43.
No.
So,
Ben's still in his
we're talking
30s.
about things that we don't do now or things, So Ben, we already got Ben's answer. The coolest thing he's ever did, at his 40 was win the Smarter Than a Fifth Grader. Like, that's the coolest thing.
Was it not the coolest thing you'd ever done?
I've done some cool shit.
I mean, I know you've done some cool
It's a
stuff.
nice pinnacle.
I know you've ran the bulls.
Yeah.
I know you are a world champion in bow fishing, but
Yeah.
is it really smart? And
Touché.
is it hard? No. What was more than that? What was better than that?
A lot.
Really?
Like
Than winning that competition?
Booby you grabbed. I don't know. I mean,
You and I could not stop laughing on the way home at Pizza Hut and on the way home, and the next day, and the next day, and the next
do
day.
you remember we pulled over and got another 6er?
Yeah.
We got in, we were blaring
I drank 7 of them.
Queen. We Are the Champions. We were
Yes.
crying, dude. We
Yes.
pulled over and we were like
Yes.
hugging each other. Dude, it was great.
Dude, you think we ever stopped laughing on the way home?
No, we didn't.
It was
In tears.
nonstop.
No shirts on. Took our shirts off.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It makes sense. I can see why you do that.
And our pants too. But
I don't know if I go that far.
But anyway, so what is the coolest
Okay.
thing you've done? Just act like you're 40. Before you reach 40, you can't say having kids.
I don't want to act like I'm 40 because I'm not.
Right. You can't say having kids or getting married, meeting the love of my life.
The coolest thing?
Coolest thing you ever done by yourself. And the next question would be,
Oh, gosh.
what's-
You don't want to know what the
what's-
coolest thing I did by
what's some
myself.
things that you've never done before you were 40 that you know you'll probably never be able to do. It could be a physical thing like be a professional hockey player, learn how to skateboard, anything like that.
What's
That I would wanted to do, that I did want to do, that I probably will never
That
get to
you
do
physically
now.
probably can't do now.
I know a big one for me is whenever I remember when I was 28, it was a really big thing. I kept thinking now, at the age I am now, I know it's ridiculous, but I wanted to try out for the SEALs. I wanted to try to get in it. You know what I mean? I knew I could get the ASVAB score to go, but it's really almost political to get into the deal, but I wanted to try to do it. And when I was 28, and I remember that's the cutoff age supposedly, so that's something that post 40 years old that I would love to have at least tried to see if I could do. I know, being realistic now, no. I mean, even whenever I was 28, I still weighed like 270 pounds, I could run like an eighth of a mile and almost die. So there was no way I could have been a SEAL, but I was really doing some of the training. I would get off the internet and I would get out there and try to do it just because I wanted to try.
Hell yeah.
That's when me and Dustin would go out and
The Robbers Cave. And
we go swim. And
Oh, you were gonna make it across the lake?
I
or-
made it across
Yeah.
the lake too. And Dustin was begging me not to. He's like, "You're gonna die out there. You're gonna drown." I was like,
That was
"No."
probably a good call, though. You probably got really lucky.
I don't know. I mean,
I made it.
Swimming fatigue, though, is a real thing.
Yeah, you just
Right.
get on your back at that point.
well,
though.
I've always been a really strong swimmer. I've always had an easy time
heard
in the
that
water.
about you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of.
People just randomly come in. You know who's a really strong swimmer? I'm like, no.
Lucas Johnson.
Lucas Johnson.
Well, yeah. After you swam across the lake and back,
I'm
yeah.
saying, that's really. I can't do that right now.
I
can't.
I don't know if I could do it right now, but I mean,
I could do it.
at that time, I think I was.
But I'd have to get on my back, you know.
You'd headache about a quarter of the way down.
No doubt, dude.
That's
No
true.
doubt, for sure,
That's
sure.
true.
It'd be over with.
I was thinking about Ben's headaches the other day because now they're affecting my life. I'm just randomly driving thinking about Ben's headaches.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, how does some bitch ever like go to Austin or anywhere with me, dude?
Well, I didn't. I mean, I've known you for several years, and it wasn't. I don't remember you ever saying anything about headaches, and then just all of a sudden, it was like
I've always had them.
bad, like constant.
Mm-hmm. But it's gotten really bad in the last 4 or 5 years. It's a different.
It's a different myalgia.
Yeah, it's a different. It's when that part kicked in. But before, man, I just had bad, like trigger points, you know, in my shoulders and from getting rear-ended, getting whiplash, and I never could get rid of them. You know, Dr. Woodruff gave me trigger point injections one time, and it made me feel really good for about 2 days. And I'll remember those 2 days because it was like the best I'd ever felt my whole life. And but I never could get rid of those things, man. Those things, I have my kids walk on my back. I have Amy walk on my back. She dig her, elbows. I get on the floor. She would just dig in. I'm like, listen, you can't hurt me. And
Then it get real bad after you do that.
no, it feel real good. But those knots, man, they just never would go away. Never. And then I start seeing, my witch doctor in Tulsa, and she got rid of them real fast. And I was like, where were you at 30 years ago, 20 years ago? But anyways.
You're on to a new thing now, though.
Yeah, I'm on a different thing because her, she would fix me, but it would not last very long. This new doctor, he's more precise in what he's doing. Now dude, 100% is an angel. I love her to death and highly recommend her. But for what I have, and she knew it, and she would tell me, she would be like, you maybe need to get, another MRI on your lower back, maybe, just different things. She'd be like, because she's not a doctor, but she can make me feel real good. But this guy is more precise. Yeah.
That's why you can't go to her anymore.
Listen, I told her, I said, listen, can I be your boyfriend? So I can come see you more, because I need to see you more than just once every, 2 or 3 months. Cause dude, she's got people flying in from all over the place. China, Russia, all over. The movie stars, evidently.
Well, that's the guy I was telling you about. He had heard of her whenever I was talking to him.
Dude, she's an angel. But this new guy, he specializes in pretty much what I got, and so it's helping a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like when you told me, like, it's kind of cutting edge stuff, kind of they got from the vet side of things. Like he's expressing your anal gland, and that's really
A little bit, yeah.
with the pain relief.
Yeah.
It was pressure.
Yeah,
is what it
pressure.
was.
It's
It was
just
that.
Yeah.
needing the anal gland and getting all that out.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really want
What's
to
he
say
used
that.
for that?
His fingers.
Oh, fingers.
Yeah, mainly his thumb.
I'm trying to
But
laugh. You guys are doing great holding it together, and I'm doing terrible.
I don't really
Sorry.
know what he's using. I'm looking the other way.
I don't care.
Right.
You use whatever you need to. You can't hurt me.
It's a
takes.
dimly lit room with Kenny G playing.
Yeah. You can't hurt me. Just do whatever
Hey,
you
when
gotta
I
do.
tell you, I'm down for anything to
we've
fix
talked
the
about it.
problem. I'm down for anything. I'm not kidding. If you know how to fix it, and I'm down to try.
Hey, let's give it
You
a
know
try
what I mean?
here right now.
Yeah.
Let's try to express that gland.
Yeah, but you never did say
breakfast
what your
glands,
greatest accomplishment before
How big's
40.
that gland, boy?
My greatest accomplishment before 40.
Is it a greatest
Really?
accomplishment?
Yeah, that too. The coolest thing you've done, greatest accomplishment. What something that just sticks with you? Like, oh yeah,
I couldn't tell you either.
You ain't even done something you regret before 40.
Oh, am I supposed to do that first
Yeah.
before he does his?
Sure, let's do that. Give him time to think.
Something I regret?
Not getting to do something you did that you wish you could take back.
But something that I did that I wish I could take back?
Yeah, even that.
Oh, man, I got a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little dark. It's really dark, and I probably shouldn't say
Can we turn
it.
his lights down a little bit so you can tell
You're
him?
gonna have a hard time because you've done a lot of your shit.
I know. It's been heavy on my heart, though.
What?
Bummed out. Never got to go to Nickelodeon Studios, go to Nick Arcade, be on that show, climb the aggro crag, dude. Like, I'm serious. You never watch those shows?
Yes.
The kid go, I dominate this shit.
Right.
Like watching Bozo the Clown. They had
I was going to say, I was going to
kid.
take mine back because I'm going to cut it out. I'm going to cut mine out probably.
No, you're not.
Yeah, the Bozo show.
Yeah, they threw that ping pong ball in the big
Aim
trash
for
bucket.
bucket 10.
They were
It wasn't a big trash bucket. It was a little bucket, but still.
Bullshit. They were big enough. They were
Aim
like a
for
bicycle,
bucket.
dude, like a 10-speed.
They won $100 bill if they got that 10. If they got it to the
One
10.
was a bike, too. One of them buckets were.
Well, there's a prize on each bucket.
Yeah, that was the easiest game ever, though. The aggro crag guts. That was some real shit. Now that was dangerous life or death stuff there, bud.
Very true.
Yeah,
Very true.
That bummed me out. I never get to do that.
I'll tell you what.
That's something I never got to ride the Back to the Future ride at Universal Studios. Kind of bummed me out.
Yeah.
I
Why
did
didn't
that.
you?
I think at Universal Studios as a kid. It wasn't there when I went as an adult.
Oh.
I went when I was 19. You know what I mean?
Did you go ride the Back to the Future ride?
I'll
See,
tell you
I'm
my.
jealous.
I'll tell you my biggest regret,
Uh-huh.
and this is to be
This is
to
not
go.
my biggest regret. These things that I'm bummed out I'll never get to experience.
Yeah.
I never played football.
Mm-hmm. It's your biggest regret?
Yeah, I still dream that I'm going into my senior. I had a dream just the other day. I'm going into my senior year, and I can actually sign up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, well, shit. I'm going to sign up for my senior year. At least I'm going to get to play 1 year of football.
Mm-hmm. It really sucked for you, though, because Ben really did sprout up right after I graduated.
Yeah.
I mean, like, legit, like,
I was always
the day
fast.
after like, graduation, like, oh, Ben's 6'1" now. Cool.
Always fast. I always had good hands, and yeah, man, I could have played. I could have played. I 100% believe it. 100%. I regret it.
Yeah.
I regret. I just wish I would have played.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm so supportive, of kids getting to play football if they want to play football.
Yeah.
Or dads trying to push their kid a little bit, because there's kids out there that, it's easier to just stay on the couch and play video games or whatever. Trust me, I know, because I love video games. But, I think I say dads, parents, moms, dads, I think you should push a little bit. Now, if your kid just don't want to freaking play and
Well, it's definitely not for everybody.
it's definitely not for everybody. But if you've got a kid that, can play and that, I say, and I'm going off topic.
I don't know. I kind of.
I'm just saying, I wish I'd have
quick,
played football.
I kind of digress, like, not digress. I kind of differ from that. Like, I want to support my kids. Like, if they want to do 7-on-7, if they want to do AAU ball, if they want to do anything like that, hey, if you're good enough, yeah, you want to do it. I'm going to support you. But I don't ever want to push them. I don't. I'm not going to make you go out there and hit baseballs and me watch you hit 100 baseballs. I'm not going to go out there and watch you throw 100 pitches. If you want to do it, you're going to do it.
Right.
And I don't think, because I think if you push them to go do that, they're going to regret, they're going to resent it.
Well, there's a difference between you going out there and watching him do it, or you going out there and making him do it all the time.
You don't want me to pump gas.
Because your kid, he wants you to be involved.
Yeah.
And
You can make it feel like the most natural thing in the world if you go about it the right way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Instead of going out there and going, well, what we're going to do today is, by God, is you're going to hit this bucket of baseballs 3 times, period. You're not getting no supper. You ain't going to the pool. You're not doing anything till these baseballs are hit. That's different than, hey, man, let's go out here and work on your swing.
yes.
Let me throw you some, let's do some soft toss.
Yeah.
Let's do some stuff so you can hit the ball out of the infield. What you see these other kids, let's do that. If you go, and I'm not saying if they're not into it, they're not into it. I was pretty fortunate that both of my boys have been like, they wanted to do that kind of stuff, But yeah, as far as being like the pressure thing, I never really, when they were little, starting them T-ball when they were 4 years old, that was just a thing of, getting them outside, getting them used to being moving around, and we were all doing it, I mean, me and their mom.
It creates muscle memory. You pick up a bat, you walk, as a 4 or 5 year old kid, you pick up a bat, you walk to home plate. You do that when you're 8 years old, do that when you're 12 years old, do that when you're 20. It's just a routine, muscle memory. Hey, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, how many kids do you know that remember learning how to throw a baseball? Nobody remembers that.
Nope.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's one of them things that once you get it worked out, it's just like, hey, dude, you're throwing it well. Let's see, back up a little bit. See how you're doing, that kind of thing. And then the cool thing is just, for me, was always just watching them get better. You know what I mean? And it kind of took a life of its own on that side of it. If you go about it, I've seen plenty of people do exactly what you're talking about, where you can tell their kid, like playing basketball, to me, was always a sport that I've seen people force their kids to play that don't want to do it. You know what I mean? You can tell they hate every step running up and down that court. And these kids are they're standing out there.
Why is basketball the worst sport anyways? I get so embarrassed going to games and sitting in the stands and listening to parents yell at their kids. I'm like,
dude, it's every sport.
No.
Yeah. Well, basketball, though,
like there's some distance, I'm guessing.
That's
basketball,
true.
Everybody hears you cussing your kid, calling him worthless, and you better hustle, and yada, yada. And
They're cussing the refs, too.
Basketball parents are the worst parents, I think, honestly,
that
I've ever seen.
I think it's because there's a gym and it's echoing throughout. You can hear them screaming and stuff.
Self-awareness.
They don't.
Well, I agree with you, dude.
They don't.
Well, youth sports in general is pretty bad that way, but basketball, definitely, you have more in that sport, I think. Baseball too, but basketball especially, you have usually parents who were probably pretty good basketball players, and they forget that these kids are 8 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're expecting 18-year-old play out of a kid who literally doesn't even run the right way yet. You know what I mean? You're like,
your devil dribbling ass on the bench.
Yeah. I'm like, 2-hand chest pass, bro. This basketball's bigger than his head.
Yeah.
It can't 2-hand chest pass that.
I just don't feel like it's fair for a kid to feel what I feel about not playing football.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like it's. I mean, I feel like every kid should get to play if they want to play.
Definitely.
And you feel like you couldn't play?
No, not that. I just didn't have someone to kind of push me in that direction of playing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my family, they all love to watch sports, but nobody ever really was a big football player. Now, my dad played football, but he wasn't there. He's not around. Mm-hmm. So no one was ever like, hey, man. No, I went to football camp and freaking fell in the angle iron and running the whatever you call that thing through the what do you call that?
Ropes.
High knees, I guess, or ropes, yeah.
Yeah.
So I fell in the angle iron and, dude, nastiest gash in my shin,
mm-hmm.
On the bone. And, it was, I had to leave.
Yeah.
So that was it. That was the end of football for me right there. And I just wish somebody, and I'm not blaming it on nobody because, I'm not blaming it on my parents or my grandparents or anything. I'm just saying, if you are out there and you're listening to this or you're watching this and you have a kid that has the ability and that may want to play, give them some encouragement. Give them some encouragement in any sport, not just football.
Yeah, it's an environment. You can, like for me, I was definitely, my family was the same way. I mean, my dad and my sister and everybody all played ball. They played all the sports and that kind of thing like that. But as far as the way I was parented, I mean, my dad helped coach my little coach pitch team and that kind of stuff like that. But once I was 12, when I went to kid pitch, he was done. You know what I mean? He's like, well, there you go. It's like I graduated high school or something. He's like, well, have a great time, or whatever. And so for me, it was kind of the same way, especially with football. He didn't have anything for me football wise, and that was one of his better sports, So for me though, kind of like what you were saying, I always thought it'd be nice for, instead of like my dad would say, well, they let me pitch a little bit, and he'd say, well, go out there and throw that baseball then. And he'd go to a shop and work on this fucking vehicle or something like that, and I'd be out there like throw a few, and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, he's like, well, you got to throw in the middle of that tire. And that's all he would give me. I'd lean up against the house and throw in this fucking tire. And so it was so vague that I lost interest, So whenever it comes my time with my boys, it's not that, people take it where it's almost like you're trying to say that that's all there is to life. And that was not the point to me. But I could always see how the things that you learn translate. I know people as I was growing up that played ball in school that like were good ball players. Well, they not in every instance, but in a lot of instances, they turned out to be, I don't know what you'd say, well put together guys by the time they got grown, you know. And I watched people like my cousin Dwayne, who's been on the podcast before. I saw what he learned in sports translate into his life. You know, that things that he and I grew up basically side by side, and he learned some of it's, you know, genetics or however you're made up or whatever, but discipline, teamwork, a lot of those things translated into his life, and he's gone on, you know. And that's just one example. That I could name a bunch of people that were good athletes in school that they took that mindset on and were able to do things, you know. And it was something that I always felt like that I don't know if you'd say missed out on, but it took me a lot longer in life to get my shit together. And I feel like that, like I always say, I wish I'd have went to the military because it would have helped me. It would have gave me a lot of discipline. It would have straightened me up early instead of me going and, you know, I was all over the fucking place for most of my life. And so I didn't want that for the boys. So it was never about the sport. And that's my own take on it. And, you know, it was always about discipline and being responsible and teaching these things that I felt like that, not that my parents did a shitty job, you know, evidently they taught me something because I care enough to try to pass that on to the boys, but I wish it would have been shown in a more direct way. You know, it's kind of like doing algebra, you know, I mean, algebra sucks unless you're trying to figure out a problem, an actual something in real life, then all of a sudden you're like, damn, I want that algebra. You know, whenever it's just a vague throwing out there just to get you to do it, well, hell, nobody gives a damn about that. But when you can apply it to something, you go, dude, if you'll do this, this happens, and you watch them learn that shit, well, then you're teaching them things in a way that I don't know another way to teach them without giving them a job. Yep. You know what I mean? Without making them get a job when they're fucking 13 years old and be like, well, go to Walmart and work, motherfucker, and figure it out. You know, I mean, past that, I don't know how you would teach somebody to be responsible to a team, you know?
And I think, you know, a lot, because I've had talks with other people about this. Now, like us three and most of civilization, we got way more time.
Definitely.
Like when we were kids playing sports, like you know, looking back at it, to me, you know, my kids, I'm 40. Shit.
Yeah, you are.
I'm 40.
There you go.
And
You're already
my boy's 4, and my, you know, daughter's 2. The oldest kid's 15 and 12. So, like, my parents were young as shit when I was playing sports.
Mm-hmm.
Probably had one damn vehicle. It was a 67 Chevy. We're loading up. Dad driving, mom, me, probably my little sister in the floorboard trying to get to Tallahassee in a rickety truck. Like, there was not 2 vehicles, air conditioning, DVD players, keep us entertained. Like, our parents were just trying to get us around.
Right.
We had air conditioning, but I'm not as old as you are.
Yeah. But I mean, you know, so like us talking about, well, you know, our parents weren't really, you know, maybe kind of push us a little bit more. They're probably doing the best they could just to get us to the gosh damn practice or a game.
For sure.
We lived out... about Roberts Cave State Park? We live 20 miles away from town or something.
Well, when you don't know, you don't know.
They didn't. They were 20, 22, 23 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 30 or 40. God
Well,
damn.
I'm
still trying to figure it out, you know?
Yeah, I know you want to be in your 30s, Trent. I get it. But
what I've always said was, if you look at like college football players typically, and they show their parents in the stands, they're not young people. They usually look like doctors, or, you know, they never look like me. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm old enough almost to have a kid in college.
Yeah.
And if I had a 18-year-old kid that was a football star right now in college, and I'm up in the stands and they point to me, it's never a guy that looks like me. It's always an old gray-haired, who?
Jaden Hazelwood's dad. He played basketball at OU. Jaden Hazelwood, a receiver. They went to the stand. He still looks like us.
Oh, he does.
Yeah. See, dude, that's like my weight loss surgery. That's what I kept thinking whenever Gavin had his signing day, and I was looking at pictures of myself, and I was like, I can't look like this, dude.
Well,
I can't wait.
I'm not even talking about.
Pounds, you know?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as young as we look still, or as long as young as I am.
You'd like to think you do.
I know.
You don't look that young.
I think we do.
Yes.
Right.
But it's usually a 65-year-old man that looks like he's got his shit together. Yeah. You know, a very successful guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Called helicopter parents.
And maybe it is, but there they are.
Yeah.
You know, winning Heisman trophies, you know, or they've made it, you know, and I'm just saying.
And they flame out in the NFL and they
Right.
rob a pharmacy store. From
Right, yeah.
I mean, what's winning in life?
I'm
I
just
don't
saying,
know.
typically when they point to the parents in the stands, they are older.
Dude.
And I think it's because they, when, you know,
You learn a little bit more.
Right.
Well, and
You're wiser.
I've always said that.
Yeah.
I think you know what, there's things just like whenever I watch when I went and watched Gavin's spring game here the other day. You know, I get to know these guys that are on Gavin's team that are his friends, and he's getting to know their parents and stuff like that. And like Graham, one of his real good buddies, his dad's a DA, you know, up there in Kansas, close to where they're at, and you know, I'm like, holy shit, you know, this guy's an accomplished lawyer, obviously, and that kind of thing like that. So that's cool. And another guy's dad that he's friends with has one of the boxes, one of the suites up there. You know, he's like he's big in, I can't remember what company they told me now. But for me, I get to smile because my son will beat either one of them, and I'm just an old oil field worker out here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I kind of like being in that company, you know, because you know it was a lot like whenever Gavin was playing up here in McAlester. All these people, all you know, it's all about heirs, and it's all about you know what can and. I'm just an old hick who cusses too much, you know, and I was real fat and, you know, I have all these things that.
Too bad you used to have a big old dip in your mouth. That has set it all up.
I know. I wish I'd have picked it up. I
Yeah,
never
just-
did, you know. It's one of the things that's a regret that I have for me. And why didn't I pick up tobacco, you know?
Just totally sold
I
the.
screwed my whole look up by
Yeah.
not having that. But
Yeah.
I always kind of smiled because, you know, we're not really from here and that kind of thing like that. And then, you know.
You're not tied in. You're not.
You don't fit in if you're not from McAlester.
Well,
for
and
sure.
I like it because we kind of break that mold of, you know, wealthy, well-to-do people are the only ones who have time to teach their kids or to have their kids, you know, take to speed and agility and all that. And these kids are the ones who go on and play well and all that kind of thing like that. I kind of blew that theory out of water, you know what I mean? And I think it's when you're raised, you know, you're nothing wrong with the way you get raised, but there's only two ways to handle your childhood the way I look at it. And that is you either see how you were raised and you pick out the things you didn't like about it and you change them, or you become what you saw coming up. You know what I mean? There's only two ways. You know, you either like it or you don't. It's either who you either want to be like that or you don't want to be like that.
I'd say that. Yeah, because where I grew up, yeah, it was rough. Like my family and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to live like that.
Yeah.
You know, not my intermediate family, but you know, cousins and stuff like that. So definitely, it struck me like I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
So you could, like I said, you can either get molded by it or shaped by it, or you can go away from it.
Well, and I think you get shaped either way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's gonna.
Oh, I'm street as shit, dude.
Word.
Well, you know, that's a funny thing about you. Whenever you get up here and you know, you got the house, you got the cars, and you got these things that
The jewelry,
you got all
fancy
these,
clothes.
Well, things
all
evolve
this,
as well,
all
man.
this cocaine, you know, you got all these things, and I came from nothing.
It's like when we were kids, parents didn't stay at practices. You know what I mean? Nobody, you got dropped off. Nowadays, that is not how it goes.
Glenn had to go change the tranny like in some Buick or something.
Yeah,
Dude. Like get the hell
well,
out.
that's what I'm saying. It's like it's evolved. So it's like I don't look back and go, man, I wish, you know, how come my parents didn't stay? Because nobody's parents stayed.
I say it all the time because we live in the good old days.
Yeah,
Those
for
weren't
sure.
the good old days, bro. Shit was tough. That's what I say about everybody talks about how much they hate the phones. These guys I work with, they're always like, you know, I just don't like that phone. You always got that phone in your hand, and I'm like, listen, man, I was old. I'm old enough to remember when nobody had phones.
Yeah.
You know, so if you forgot your bag at home and it had your cleats in it or whatever, you're screwed, bro.
Yeah.
You know, you don't get to play or what, you know, if you forget your book, you know, for class or whatever, you just don't have it.
Yeah.
You know, whereas now you can make a frantic text or send somebody a snap, say, hey, can you bring my bag
I
by
need
or
my
whatever?
cup. My balls are bare.
Well,
out
there's a
here.
there's a meme
yeah.
I just ran across that said the 90s and early 2000s had the right amount of
Both.
of technology, and it's gotten just out of hand.
I was dead serious, by the way, about the Aggro Crag and Nick Arcade, Nick Studios.
Yeah, I was going to come back to that.
Thinking,
I was coming
for
back
sure,
to it.
probably not getting a college degree. That one bothers me.
Really?
And I always think about going back and like finishing up and doing this. And I'm like, no, because I love to learn. I read like all the time, but I just don't do good in a a class environment.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Some people don't.
It's like ADHD or something, dude. They start talking, and I'm like, dude, listen, I'm falling out on you, bro. Can't do it.
See, and to me, that's the beauty of the time that we live in that you got enough information that you know there's other people in the world. Because when you're like when I was in high school, anybody that didn't pay attention and you didn't make A's, well, as far as everyone was concerned, I'm talking about your peers, the teacher, everybody's concerned, you're going to suck.
Oh, yeah, he's smoking marijuana.
This motherfucker got F's. He ain't going to be shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't make the grades. And now, I mean, it's kind of common knowledge that some people ain't cut out for the classroom. And it don't mean you're going to suck, you know? Yeah. And the cool thing is there's enough of those stories out there where you go, where a guy like, I'm using myself as an example here because my grades were terrible my whole life. Where I go, and I'm not a fucking, you know, I'm not a multimillionaire or anything like that, but I'm just saying I've made life work, you know, and I was growing up, I was thinking, well, I'm fucked, you know. Yeah, I even had a doctor tell me that. He's like, most guys that are like you, he's like, you've never used methamphetamine? And I was like, no. He goes, most people that have ADHD like you do find a way to medicate, and that's the way they usually do it. And I was like, no shit. I was like, well, I've thought about it, but it's always ruined everybody's life that I knew. So I didn't, you know, I was too scared to do it because I'm tough, just like tobacco. I don't do tobacco because I'm not tough. I puke. You know what I mean? It's not because I'm tough. You know?
Same. Matt Stark gave me some Five Brothers one time, and I puked up my $80 steak that I just eaten.
Oh,
damn.
God.
That's a true story. Maybe that's one of my biggest regrets right there.
Throwing up an $80 steak? That's a big
I don't remember how much it was. It was a big, nice meal we ate. I think we ate at Giacomo's or something, you know, and then we got to Wilburton, and he gave me his Five Brothers, and I was like, I'll try it.
We had no money to be eating no Giacomo, man. Like, what are you doing with your life? You saved up for a week.
Hey. Papa Duke took good care of me.
Dude, that's like, you know, Joey Ratliff gave me a big chew one time. We were on the bus headed to, I can't remember where we were going to play a football game. Dude, I got sick as shit. I
puked right there in his yard.
We talked about, you know, like, it's crazy how, like, if you do pick it up and you stick with it, if you quit for a while, you do it again, it'll get you, but not as bad. It's like, ain't it crazy what your brain can adapt your body to like handle? Because the first time you ever do snuff, like, it's the highest, sickest you've ever been in your life, dude. Like, everything just, it's bad.
So why do it again?
From the streets, dude.
Oh,
that's what you do, man.
Yeah. Street cred, I guess.
Yeah.
You still dipping?
Every once in a while.
You probably dip this weekend when you play golf.
I dip in right now. You know what we're sitting here for.
That's the way my dad is, dude. My dad can't get away from it. You know what I mean?
You know,
really?
It's weird. Amy gives me hell all the time because I can quit for 2 years. And then one day I'm like,
you're right back at it.
I just do it.
Because you think,
she's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like it.
Because you think you're just going to do it once?
No, I know. I'm going picking it back up.
See, that's you're like my dad. You don't have any problems from it. You know, there's no
withdrawals,
nothing. No, you don't have any health issues from it or anything like that. So you're like, well, I'll pick it up or lay it down, whatever. If I feel like doing it today.
If I'm not doing heroin and drinking like every day, I get a damn plug. I don't care.
Okay.
That's like my dad's 68. He'll be 69 in June, right? And he smoked since he was 12. Okay, he smoked cigarettes or dipped or chewed or all those. All my life.
Sometimes at the same time.
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him smoke with a dip. And I'm not kidding.
Hang out with you.
You know, and so you keep thinking, well, like my mom she's got real bad emphysema from it. She's quit smoking like 12 years ago. No, I think she finally quit like 8 or 9 years ago, and she's like got real bad health problems from it.
Yeah.
My dad has nothing. You know, and now the Choctaws have that initiative, you know, where everybody that has I think they're over 60 and they have a history of smoking. They have them do a CT scan, whatever it is. They look at their lungs once a year to make sure nothing comes up. And my dad still uses the electronic, you know,
yeah.
And you know, they're like, sir, you know, it's not really good to do at your age, whatever. And he's like, I know, but they check his lungs and there's nothing. So, I mean, what can you tell this man? You know what I mean? For whatever reason, his body sheds this shit. Like, you know, maybe not one of these days, but hell, he's already almost 70. Yeah. You know, I mean, what exactly are you going to do to this guy? And that's kind of the way he looks at it. And he doesn't stop because of that.
Yeah, I mean, 70's damn good run in my book already.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I go back and say, I can quit for a couple of years and just pick it back up. Maybe a year, quit, pick it back up. But, I mean, we eat shit with artificial sweeteners in it. Gosh damn, everything bad for you. I mean, sugar candy. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, dude, it's
allulose. I don't know. I don't know what the hell allulose is.
I wish to God
30, 40.
Sounds healthy to me.
I wish refined sugar would make me dizzy and puke like snuff. Yeah. That would make my life so much easier. You know what I'm saying? Or if something greasy like pizza would make me puke my guts up every time I touched it.
They got that shit for alcoholics where it makes alcohol real bitter. It makes
really?
If you're like a bad alcoholic.
Really?
You got this thing you take and it makes alcohol like bitter like
How
it's
do you
supposed
know?
to be. Oh, because I'm recovering.
But whiskey already tastes like shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, what do they do?
Hey,
to
that's
this?
a good point.
I don't think whiskey
if you're out there
does.
drinking whiskey and you're
It does
sipping
not.
it,
You've never tasted it then.
yeah. If you're sipping whiskey
really
and you're
good.
saying, and you're smelling it,
Delicious.
you're full of shit.
You got a problem.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It don't taste good.
No way, dude. No way.
I don't care what you say.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I feel that way about beer though. None of it tastes good. It tastes,
First time you ever take a
it's
drink of
terrible.
beer, you're like, how the hell do you like this?
Yeah.
And
Well, maybe that's how people feel about whiskey.
No, about the third time, you're like, hell yeah, this beer kicks ass.
Maybe they feel the same way about whiskey.
Oh no, whiskey does not.
You know, and I had an easier time adapting to the taste of beer than I did like coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
Like for me, because my parents drink black coffee. When I was growing up, there was no sugar. There was no cream. There's none of that shit. They drink
Mantown around there.
black.
Yeah.
And 8 scoops to 4
Thick.
cups. I'm
Yeah,
talking about the fucking most bitter coffee, you know what I'm saying? Like strong.
It's a dredge.
They want to
Yeah.
wake up. Yeah,
They want it bad, you know what I mean? And so that's what I grew up around, and I still am not used to their coffee. You know, as a grown man, almost 50 years old, every time I take a sip, I can't not make a face.
Well, your father can't look you in the eye.
Yeah, and my dad's over there drinking it. He's like on his 3rd cup, you know, I'm still sipping on my first one, like, oh God, you know. But for like beer, I remember when I was real young, my dad and them would sit around and play guitars, and they would all have a beer, and he would give me a sip every now and then. I'm like, can I have a sip of that? And he'd let me have a sip or whatever. And I remember thinking, ooh. And then about 5 minutes later, I'd be like, I want another drink of that. You know what I mean? That wasn't that
Called the
bad.
alcoholism gene.
Well, I think it's
sure.
probably had something to do with my dad's doing it or whatever. I don't know, but I remember I'd drink it. But whenever I got older, I remember when I was 15, dude, and we got to go to our first school dance or whatever, at Wilburton, and after that we were all going to Willie Sharp's house. That was the big meetup spot, and dude, they had beer over there, and nobody's parents were there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
how do we get this pulled off? Yeah.
there's no parents here. And what seemed like grown people, like Chad Swafford, who was like 3 years older than me, and to me at that time was like a man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he seemed like a parent almost. He was so much older, 3 years older than me, And but they had beer there, and everybody was drinking it. And I'm looking around thinking, something not going to happen? Nobody's coming. No parents are coming home. They're like, no, Dad's at the bar. I'm like, so I can drink this? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Is like, I can do this. Nobody's here. And I'm like you said, I take a drink and I'm like, ugh. But I'm like, but this for me it equaled fun. I mean, it was like this equals.
I highly doubt that Trent ever go to beer.
Well, by the time I drank
doubt it.
2, because I didn't drink.
Yeah.
By the time I drank 2, I'm like,
Is this your first beer you drank?
since I was a little kid, yeah. I mean, other than you'd find an old hot one somebody throw
laying
down
a bitch.
somewhere or
Yeah,
something. Yeah,
yeah.
drinking an old nasty one, But I'm talking about this is cold, fresh, you're ready to drink Bud Light or whatever.
Yeah.
And by the time you drink 2 and you're catching that little buzz, you're like, now this is fun.
Yeah.
You're seeing girls and you got no problem talking to them. You know what I mean?
I'm smooth as shit right now.
All of a sudden I feel cool as hell. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And I was hooked.
Do you
You'll
remember?
never feel cool as hell. It sucks.
Yeah.
Evidently not. Do you remember the first time you drank beer?
I was little. I very vividly remember it, actually. Me and Dad went down to my grandparents to do something for them. They were out of town, and it was a Bud Light, and it was warm, like we were talking about, and he poured it on ice. And we were driving back to the house, and he's looking at it, he goes, you want some of that? I'm like, yeah. I took a drink, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is ass. But then,
So it was just a sip.
yeah, just a sip. The first time I ever got drunk, we were camping. Matt Stark was there, and it was Canadian Hunter whiskey.
Oh God.
Yes, and is by a creek, and it was like a week before Christmas, and we were cooking hot dogs, and I had that stick, and I said, I'm gonna go over here and catch a fish, and I was like sitting by this creek bank, and my weenie fell off the stick.
Your weenie fell off?
Yeah, my weenie fell off. I drank till my weenie fell off.
You drank your weenie off. Oh, that's why I've never drank.
Yeah, it can happen.
That's the reason.
God, no wonder.
It can happen. You can drink your weenie right off.
Kind of makes me second guess drinking all of a sudden.
So I jumped in for it because I was mad, and of course it was almost Christmas, and I froze to death.
Did you get your weenie back?
I don't remember. Matt threw me by the fire. And
No, check real quick. Did you ever get it back?
Lucas, you're watching this on YouTube.
I think it's still there.
I don't believe your story anymore now.
If part of it fell off, you were doing well.
Oh,
you know.
So yeah,
it's your dad to blame. I should be mad at him going back all those times of me having to deal with your drunk ass.
Yeah.
Which is over
You
$1
still
million.
gotta deal with my drunk ass. What are you talking about?
I know, and I don't, man.
Well, you know, the funny thing about drinking is it's, to me, tobacco's same type thing. You know, it starts out as you trying to be, I would say cool, or maybe just trying to do what looks fun or what looks cool. I remember trying to get started dipping and that kind of thing. And I'd see people with that, you know, that full lip, and I think it looks cool. You know, they're spitting, and he's 12 years old, and he's over here, you know, spitting between his front teeth, shit. I'm like, this is fucking cool. This is man shit. Yeah. I like man shit.
Get on board.
Yeah, I'll give me some of that, you know. And I never know until it hits you, and you're just
I'm
like,
over here looking at my lips, thinking about
yeah. And I'm secretly, you know. Have you guys ever seen there's an X-Men movie where the guy he can use his mind to take control of people, and he stops this guy dead in his tracks. This guy can't move, and the other guy can move metal, and he's taking a coin, and he's moving it through this guy's head. He's killing him with this coin, and it's going real slow. And this guy can't scream. He's just sitting there, and the guy who's took over his mind feels everything that guy's feeling, so he's screaming, ah! And inside this guy's mind, that's what he's thinking. Well, that's what. When I took a dip, that's what I secretly inside of myself was screaming, why are you doing this? This is awful. This is the most terrible thing. But everybody else is cool. Everybody's spitting. Everybody's talking and laughing. It's got to be cool. Yeah. And the whole time I'm sitting there, and that nicotine rush makes me vomit immediately. You know, and I'm sitting there going,
is it the nicotine rush or is it the taste?
It's nicotine.
It's all of it. You know what I mean? It's that burning. It's you know, I'm not getting
down the back of your throat.
Yeah, I'm not getting it all when I'm spitting. It's not all getting out, you know. And I want to swallow. I got cotton mouth now because I'm used to swallowing my spit all the time, not spitting out. Yeah, you know, it's all this combination. It was hot. You. Oh yeah, you know, it's come in handy over the years, you know.
Serves me well.
Yeah, it kept me from getting pregnant a lot of times, you know. But
Word.
You know, I remember one of the first times I ever dipped. It was hot outside, you know. So you got all that.
Everybody
shit.
First dipped like in August. Like,
why is that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hauling hay or some stupid shit. Like
we were just a bunch of kids hanging out, you know. And these guys had
me. It was after I ate a steak. Go ahead.
Oh man, you know, it was. I wanted to be cool, and I remember thinking, you know, I sat there and I got dizzy, got real lightheaded, and not in a good way, not drunk dizzy, like I'm gonna fall over. I feel like the world's coming to an end, you know, like a awful feeling. And I was like, well, yeah, this thing's it's lost all of its flavor, and I pull it out, throw it down, you know what I mean? And within like 3 minutes, you know what I mean? And I can't get it all out. You know, it's all over in my mouth. I've swallowed it, and I didn't throw up.
Sure, it's fine cut. They had no sissy long cut back.
Oh no, yeah, this kid, you know, he had Copenhagen.
Oh, everything was Copenhagen.
His dad like bought it for him. You know what I mean? This kid was tough as shit.
Old man got me a sleeve for Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Matt Stark, he thought it was really funny he knew what was going to happen.
Oh yeah,
Five brothers.
What was you to get a plug?
I have no idea. I don't because I thought I could do it. I was like, I can do it. I don't have an addictive personality, so I knew I wasn't going to get addicted to it. I mean, I got Adam Woodruff onto smoking. I mean, I'm the one that got him to start smoking. You know, took him during the track meet, went home for a break, you know, and he came over and we had pizza and stuff, and then we rode our bicycles over to the railroad bridge. Yeah. I think we talked about this already, but we were to the railroad bridge, and I took some cigarettes from Granny and Granny Marty, you know, and she had 500 packs of them, you know, at all times.
In the leather,
So-
in the leather pouch.
Yeah, so and she would go to Walmart or whatever and buy a lot of cigarettes at one time. So I could have taken 20 cartons,
No, you
and
think
she
you
would have
could've.
never known.
You think you could have?
I don't know, because I did a lot, and she never did say anything to me about it. She
Yeah,
would
she
she
knew
would
you
light
were
a cigarette and get up and cook,
Yeah.
and that whole damn cigarette would burn. She would never even take a puff off of it.
People that dip,
So I go
people
over
that
there and-
smoke, they know how many goddamn cigarettes they got.
Well, she's like, well, so I took some
They ain't
cigarettes
winging
over
that
there
shit. It costs money.
and gave it to Adam, and Adam has smoked ever since.
You know what's funny about, like, I remember, like, being in grade school, junior high, hell, even high school. Hey, man, can I have a piece of that gum? My last piece, dude.
Oh yeah.
That was me.
But someone whips out a can of snuff, you want to dip? Like, people were offering you. Like,
Yeah.
everybody want, I guess
They don't want to be the only one dipping.
It's like a social thing. I think it's like drinking beer almost. Like, you
Yeah.
see your buddy, you're like, hey, man, here's a beer, dude. Like, I don't know what it is. It's
Yeah.
just it's a vibe.
That wasn't what Matt Stark was doing. He just wanted to see me struggle.
You need to start
He
smoking
knew
or dipping.
he knew that Five Brothers
Yeah.
was
Five Brothers bad.
was not going to be a good thing for me to start off with. But he
True
did me a
story.
favor. He did me a favor. Yes.
Yeah. My great grandfather with
Oh yes.
Matt's grandfather, they were out in the woods one time, and they both chewed Five Brothers, and the rattlesnake, and they caught it and got its stick behind its head, and had its mouth open, and Matt's grandfather spit some Five Brothers in that snake's mouth, and it fell over and died. Yeah.
Damn, really?
Yeah. Man, mean stuff.
So I said, it ain't gonna kill me. I'm way tougher than a
Give me some of
rattlesnake.
that shit.
Give me some of that.
Benji.
Yeah. And sure enough, dude,
Got
it
him.
was not
Got
a good
him.
day for Benny Klein. Not a good day. And Matt was laughing so hard. Of course, you know Matt. Speaking of Matt, I saw Matt last night.
No doubt.
Yeah. And baseball. We ain't played them yet, but they're in our league
Oh, good.
now. Yeah, for the first time.
Y'all play, you have to let me know. I'd like to come watch that.
And guess who else I saw last night? Besides
Rick
Ryan
Ross.
Brindley. Got to see Ryan Brindley. Hadn't seen him in a long time.
Okay.
Got to see Sherry, of course, married to Matt.
Yeah.
Graduated with her. Guess who else I got to see that I haven't seen probably since high school?
Don Stites.
Oh.
Ken to Ryan Brindley. His father,
Robert.
Robert
Snake.
Brindley.
Robert the Snake Brennan.
You know, I'm talking to Robert Brindley last night. He comes up to me.
That's a compliment, by the way, too. That
Snake. He comes up
It's not
to
about
me.
his character. That's about his anatomy.
He comes up to me and I'm talking to him. I'm like, how does this guy not like a movie star?
Yeah.
I mean, he could do, and maybe he don't want to be.
He's
But
Rob
I'm
Lowe.
pretty
He
sure
looks
if
like Rob
Robert
Lowe.
Brindley wants to be a movie star or wanted to be a movie star, he could easily do it.
Ryan Brindley could be anything he wanted to be.
That's very true.
He could be anything he wanted to
Robert
be.
Brindley, to me as a young kid, was about 6'4",
Yeah.
the most athletic, graceful swan I've ever seen out there. And these days I'm about 5 inches taller than Robert, but he's still about 6'5" to me. Somehow.
Right, yeah.
He's always seems like a tall dude. Now
Yeah.
you see him, you're like, oh, Robert wasn't that tall.
Yep.
Yeah, he's cool as ice, man. Cool as a
Dude,
cucumber.
for real.
I remember I was probably 21, 22. It was like an alumni banquet. And I had that blue Chevy, that short wide. He's like, man, I seen you in that truck. He was like, that looks good. I'm sure I've been acting an idiot because now looking back why he said this, he goes, it's a nice looking truck. And I was like, thanks, Robert. And I was about to, walk off. He goes, remember, you look a whole lot cooler just slow rolling than you do burning them tires out.
That's exactly. And that's Robert Brindley right there,
Oh,
dude.
yeah, dude. He's cool. Like I said, he's a cool
Yeah.
cucumber, man.
Of
Of course, I went out there and probably did the donut.
Right, but I could never put
it.
it that way, man. It never would cross my mind. Maybe there's a lot to be learned from Robert Brindley. I promise you.
I'm telling you, he's wise.
And I, just talking to him, I didn't get to talk to him for very long, but I was just like, man, I've missed out. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't know until you see somebody you've seen, haven't seen in a long time, and you're like, man, this guy.
All
And
the
I
women
don't-
want him, and all the men want to be him.
And I don't think that much. I don't think that
Brian?
about no. No, I don't think that about many people. You know what I mean? Usually it's the opposite for me. I'm like, oh man, I used to kind of look up to you, and what happened, but not with Robert Brindley. And he came over to me. I'm over. I looked up and I was like,
the whole way home, he's telling Amy, "You see Robert come up to me?
Yeah,
he came up
you notice
to
he
me.
came to me.
Yeah,
no, I'm just saying that's Robert Brindley, man.
You got to air about him for sure, dude.
For real.
I don't know how some people get it. Like, I don't know what it is.
Do you just want some insurance advice? He's like, Ben, how do you do it, bro?
Yeah.
How do you get all this done, sir?
How you get these numbers for me at Black Line Insurance? How you doing that?
How have you
You
built this empire, sir?
You should make Robert be like, like they had the Dos Equis man. You should have the Black Line guy, and it's just Robert, like, sitting on a horse smoking a Winston.
Yeah.
Like in a tux. Just shit like that.
Like I said, he could be what he could do or be whatever he wanted to be. Now, he had OSU attire on.
Yeah. Well, we're not all perfect.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. But he's so dang near close, man.
Oh, yeah.
Without the OSU stuff, he's there,
Yeah.
But
cool dude, man.
of course I didn't say one word about the OSU stuff,
Oh, you're too humbled.
Right. Right. Yeah. I could see a lot of people.
So that's what you want to do. Now, figure it out.
Crystal Harbor also.
Okay.
Got to see her. Hadn't
Ice
seen
queen.
her since the last time I think I threw ice for
I never realized
Southeastern Ice.
I seen her birthday was a while back. Wish her happy birthday. I never realized she was like 4 or 5 years older than us.
Right.
I did no idea.
Yeah, she's the same age as me, I think.
She had her shit together for me and Ben. And I was like, man, this woman here, she got her stuff together. She's 4 or 5 years older than us.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Still in her lower 20s when we were working there,
Yeah, we're dumb.
And we feel, and to us, she was like,
She was Destry's wife.
right, 40 something years old,
Full grown woman.
Yeah. She said my name real loud. She's like, "There's Ben Klein." And I was like, "Don't say my name out loud, woman.
Whatever,
you don't
dude.
know
He
these
perked up
people
like a
are."
penny rooster. Yeah, it is Ben Klein.
She said, "You're old." I was like, "Oh, really? You're gonna say I'm old?" Right? But the last time she saw me, I was 19, 20. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy, dude.
So now, like, my next part of my question was, like, what's the coolest thing you did before 40? And then it was going to be, what's something you want to do your next 40 years? I think I want to be Robert Brindley.
My
for the
next 40
Damn.
years.
Yeah.
That's
What's
a
the
tall
coolest
order,
thing
bro.
you've done before 40?
Dude, I didn't do a whole lot.
I would definitely like to spend more time with Robert Brindley, and that's the dang truth.
That could be your answer coming up.
He said my brother went down there and hunted on his land.
Okay.
He's living down.
Clayton?
Yeah.
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 We go there. We all go there all the time, dude. All the dudes.
Sons
all
of
the
bitches.
pros. All the homies.
That's about right. That's about right.
You're the only one that doesn't go.
Yeah,
Even I
Robert's
go.
always like, why does Ben Klein not like me? He's never here.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, Robert.
I don't think Robert even
thinks.
thinks about Ben Klein until he saw me, and he's like, "Oh, I better go."
We're like, remember, Ben doesn't drink, and he's like, "Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's it." Yeah.
Dude, he's still not smoking or dipping? No,
Yeah,
Robert's like,
yeah.
he
don't
gave
do
us
anything.
he gave us
Loser.
all a pen. He gave us all a pen when we graduated.
yeah.
I still have it.
Do you?
Yes. Hell yes.
No, what stupid question.
I will. Yeah, right. Exactly.
About that?
You know I still got it. You know I still got it. For real.
So, coolest thing.
Coolest thing? What? Next,
done
the
before
next 40? Before I did?
Before you turned 40 was the coolest thing you
Did I not say it? Because I don't remember.
I
if
swam
did or
across
not.
Carlton Lake. That's gonna be my coolest thing.
The coolest thing?
Snowboarding in Aspen's pretty rad.
Snowboarding in Aspen is right up there. Maybe when I took well, to be honest with you,
The time you saved that wreck? When you were
When I did-
transporting that inmate?
when we did save that guy,
I was talking you transporting that inmate, and yeah.
and I wrecked.
Well, you basically saved it, though, I thought. And it's like, the inmate's
I don't
like,
know.
that was damn good driving, dude.
I went off in the ditch, though. I did go off in the ditch.
Yeah.
I can tell that
wrecked
story.
that hoe.
That was pretty cool. I think maybe when I went off.
No, you just tell one story, your coolest story.
So you like fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
You ran off the
Damn
road,
right, an animal ran off in front of me, and
Always an animal.
right? Yeah, that's a good say.
it was.
It's a terrible say.
Well, Adam was there. You
He
know,
was sleeping, but yeah.
and no, I
You saw it, yeah.
I couldn't lie about it.
Because
you know
I
what
woke
mean?
up, we come out of the ditch. I don't know what happened.
I did say, because this guy was, I won't tell the story. I think, man, when I went up in that racing airplane, that was really
That was pretty
awesome.
dope.
Went upside down and all that, that, and right over Florida and land, I'd say that was there. But man, snowboarding in Aspen, this is right up there.
Definitely, it's a big regret too. Never getting to fly in a fighter jet. That is a big regret.
Oh, I'm
be a
going
cool
to.
thing.
Yeah.
I will.
That may be your next 40 goal.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely want to do that.
Now, you've got many things. What would you say is your biggest thing before 40?
440.
That'd be a tough one for you.
Mm-hmm. Getting to know you guys.
If you don't say that all those times I saved your life, I'm going to be mad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ben has saved my life quite a few times.
Well, you kicked it in gear there. I mean, you did a lot. You did a lot of living.
Yeah, I did. It's probably like, the whole Europe thing was cool. Running with the Bulls is definitely the highlight. I'm going to guess. Yeah, I would say running with the Bulls, which we've all heard that story, so we need to go there. Man, I don't know. Probably the most.
How you gonna bring us the question and then
I was thinking, man, like, I don't know. To me,
it'd be tough just knowing what I know that you've done. There's a lot. Like I said, you did a lot of shit.
It was fun. One of the most memorable things, honestly, was walking when my wife surprised me for my 40th birthday, and I walked in. I had no idea, and I seen everybody there, and I was like, man,
not everybody.
Nah, you two slack jaws. But
I have a very good reason.
We all got like an animal right now.
I wasn't invited.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like, I guess, to me that was cool because, like, man, like, a lot of these people I've known my whole life, like, I've been able to.
Was it really that cool, though?
It was.
Really?
It was more touching than I thought it was going to be.
Hell
Did you cry?
No, I didn't cry, but I got the quick lump, and I sucked it up because I'm a man that dips and drinks.
Now I kind of feel bad. Now I kind of feel bad that we didn't.
That's where it comes in handy. Dipping and drinking. See, that you always knew it'd come in handy.
I kind of feel bad that I wasn't
Shut
invited.
up real quick. You were invited. Shut up.
No one told me.
Whatever.
They invited me.
Yeah.
I just couldn't go. Well, actually, what I thought was we had a tournament that weekend, and it got canceled.
Yeah.
But by then, all the RSVP was over with and all that, and I was like, I'm not going to crash that. You know what I mean? It's kind of.
It was surprisingly touching and I realized I'm getting older because I was like, why did that hit me off like for a second? And I was like, that was odd.
I don't have that many people that care about me, so.
You're just antisocial. You got a lot of people.
I'm really not antisocial.
You really are.
Well, if you would take a minute to be a little bit introspective about the fact that a lot of people don't live to be the age that you are. I mean, we take it for granted, but I mean, how many people do you know that didn't live to be 40 years old?
Right.
I got a lot of friends. Whenever me and Chris sit down and talk, most of the dudes that we ran around with aren't alive anymore.
That's crazy.
I got a list in my phone of the note section. And I started doing that a couple months ago. I started writing down, like...
people that we've lost?
Yeah. And I try to find their obits on the internet and write the date next to it. And we stop and start thinking about it. You're like, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you tend, life goes on and those kind of things like that. But when you go to thinking about who you've known for forever, and anytime me and Chris get together, I don't really think about it when we're talking because we're talking. But, you kick around, well, we ought to get together more. And you think, well, we ought to all get together. And then I go, holy shit, all of us are dead. And it's like, and I realized, like, one reason why I'm still alive is because I wasn't the free spirit. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys I ran around with were fucking tough and do crazy shit. I was there, but I wasn't, you know what I mean?
You want to reel it in a little bit.
I was like, fucking kick his ass, you know what I mean? Or whatever. Well, I wasn't doing it. So that's why I lived that long, but but like Chris, he's still getting in fist fights in his fucking 40s. I can't, I mean,
I don't think we're supposed to talk about that, are we?
Well,
I would love to tell that story.
Still, I mean, tell the story or not. I mean, he's. I
don't think he wanted to do that though.
Well, but
he didn't ask for that.
No,
I don't know which one we're talking about.
Right.
But you got to understand that's the difference in personalities because I wouldn't have done it the way he did it. You know what I mean? I'm not built like that. That's why I try to tell people about that dude. He ain't like everybody else. You know what I mean? He's a very mild mannered, very kind, very caring, very fucking dangerous person that you don't realize.
From the streets.
You don't know how fucking
that's for real
gritty this man can be. If he wants to be. He don't.
Right.
You know, I mean, he don't.
He wants to live in peace with everybody.
He wants to. He legitimately wants to live that way. But he's like, motherfuckers won't let me. You know what I mean?
How do I get out?
That's a movie.
Back in.
That's a movie right there. That's a movie.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. You know, the guys I ran around with
Who would
were
play him? Steven Seagal, I'm thinking.
I don't know. You'd have to let him play himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ain't trying to piss that dude off. You know, I got more sense now that I'm older. But no, man. But like I said, when you start taking inventory, the whole point of that was, you know, like you were saying, you go to looking back at once you get to be 40 years old. No, that's not old, but you know, you live long enough now, especially with the information age, and you've got kind of shit at your fingertips where you can, anytime you want to, you can kind of look back through. And I do it a lot here lately, especially, you know, I was telling Ben about this the other day. You get to looking around and I'm thinking, why do I feel so weird about life? Like, why does this feel so strange? And it's like all this shit I've been trying to get to do. You know, I've been trying to, now I drive the vehicle I always wanted to drive. You know, I have the job I always wanted to get. My kids are doing all this more shit than I'd ever hoped they would do. You know, I didn't know. You know, so it's like, hell, I made it. That's what the problem is. I didn't realize it, you know, and you realize that you were at an age, especially me, where there's a shitload of people that don't make it to that age, man. Oh, yeah. You know, I mean, I'm kind of glad. You know, I mean, now that I had surgery, I kind of look pretty close to the way I want to look. I get to dress the way I want to dress. You know, it's you
get older and the balls hang a little lower, so it's kind of cool.
That's
cool.
a downside. You know what I mean? First time you set on those things, you know what I mean? It gives you a new
touch that cold toilet water.
Well, the wang has always been touching the water, but now it's the balls.
They don't set like one of those bouncy balls. You know what I'm saying? Those things twist and they torque wrong.
Usually the wang was like the indicator first when you get the water.
Now it's the balls.
Yeah,
first.
You get a little shiver like, ooh, you know, but now, no, you don't get no warning, you know. But
well, especially people from Wilburton, it is a feat to make it to 40 for sure.
Yeah. I know a lot of guys who didn't, man.
Especially our, you know.
Yeah, and their age.
From his age down,
dude, it's crazy. It's legitimately like, you know, you see a lot of these guys who, you know, I think about like,
yeah, but in our scenario, it's mostly the good people. You know what I mean? In yours, it's the crazy people. Ours is the good people. So that kept Trent and I from being good people. You know what I mean? We're like, no, we're going to keep on.
The good die young.
For real, though. I mean, we were like, man, how are we not among those people that died? Because there's I don't know if you've ever met somebody that's done as crazy stuff as us two. Yeah. You know what I mean? We've done some stupid and crazy stuff that we should not have made it through
at all.
Well, ours, you know, the life that I lived, especially whenever Chris and I were running around all the time, it wasn't so much like we didn't do the like jackass crazy stuff. It was more of fucking, it was always a fight. It was always fucking.
There's always fights and women, you know, gorgeous women.
It was some crazy, well, I mean, you know, and I watched all this shit. I wasn't, you know, more of it, I was more in the back like, holy shit, watching all this shit unfold, you know. So a lot of the people I knew, you know, E.C. Lawson's a good example of someone who, you know, unfortunately is not around and was as, I guess you would say, exceptional person as anybody you've ever met. You know what I mean? He's someone that always comes to my mind about, you know, it's unfortunate. I feel like I got along with the dude. I did not get along with him when I was real young. You know what I mean? But as we got older and that kind of thing like that. But he was an ultra macho, physically gifted person.
Very imposing. Yeah, I mean, he was just big dude.
From the minute I knew him, and he was probably 17 or 18 whenever I met him the first time. And he was, and you can ask Chris said the same thing. He was like a grown man. Yeah. You know, and so there's very few people you run across in life that are like that, you know. So he was like larger than life, always. And to know that people, it's just first one thing and another, you know, these guys, he wasn't even, I mean, he was working on some equipment, you know, and so to me, now I'm like, I'm kind of thankful, you know. on one end you go, wow, man, it's crazy. You know, I've lived so much life. It's all, you know, so much shit has already happened. And like I was talking to you about the boys being mostly grown and that kind of shit. But you sit there and you go, dude, I feel kind of fortunate to be in the spot that I'm in, even though I would love to be 30 again. I would love to be 25 or, you know, 20 or any of those things like that. Almost 45, be 45 in a month. Don't feel that bad. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, you know, I've seen a lot of shit. Still, like you were talking about, one of the things that I'm wanting to segue into, though, is what do you want to do in your next 40? And, dude, there's a lot of shit. My mind's, I used to want to be home all the time. You know, I was a guy that when all this shit was going on, when I was running around and we were doing all this stuff, we never went anywhere. You know, we were always, and we still don't. Chris, you know, I mean, he takes very few vacations, and I'm one of those people. You know, I don't go there anywhere that often, and that's one of the things I want to change. Is I want to go see some things now. You know, like you were taking a big cue from the way you do things. It's like there's some shit I'd like to see. You know, there's some things I would like to. I get tired of getting told about all these things. I'd like to go out there and actually see some of this stuff. You know, I'm getting to a point in my life where now I can take a little bit of time and go see some shit. I'm about to go do that. You know, so that's definitely seeing some of the world.
What's the first thing you want to see?
Well, like
anything on your list?
I'm going to is it Antelope Canyon in Arizona? It's one of the things that I want to go see. You know, where the water's washed out the sand rock and all that, the sandstone. I want to go in there and I want to see some of that stuff. I see pictures on Instagram. I see these things. You know, it's cool looking. Yeah. I want to go see that. It's one of the first things we're going to go do. You know, but I want to see some things that's old. It's another thing I haven't seen. You know, there's shit that's old around here, but I'm talking about.
There ain't nothing much nothing much older than that canyon. You know what I mean?
Right, but I'm talking about some man-made things that are old, though. You know, you know, like I remember going to the Mayan pyramids in Mexico, and that shit it's neat to think thousands of years ago somebody built this shit. You know, and I want to see more of that.
Some bitches were building that design on different continents.
Yeah,
thousands of years ago. Why? Shit trips me out.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Something that everybody was building.
And it's something to put your hands on that kind of stuff. It's something that I always wanted to do, but once I had kids, it's kind of like they've always taken priority over most everything. For whatever. That's just the way I'm built. I don't know why I'm that way, but so now that they're kind of starting to get their own lives, and then I'm not that cool to them anymore. You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, I'd like to go see some shit before I die.
Do me now.
Yeah. Because it's not beyond me to think I'm going to live for, I don't think I'm going to live forever. I know this is going to end one of these days. So who knows when? So I better get to doing some shit is what I've been thinking. So it's just money.
Right.
It's money.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do in my next 40.
What?
I want to. I don't ever want to die.
You still got to raise your kids. Yeah, you got a long ways to go.
I don't ever want to die. What I mean by that is like, when I'm old and I'm safe, I'm 90, if I make it there, Lord willing, I want to be like, I don't want to die. Life's too damn good. I feel good. Everything's good. I don't want to die. That or, I want to be ready to go and go. I don't want to ever be like, I don't ever want to go is what I'm getting at. I want to live a life where I feel like I'm living a fulfilled life. Everybody around me's happy. And I just want to live forever. Like Hugh Hefner. Can't tell me that some bitch wanted to die.
Yeah.
No, he did not.
Hell no. I think that's a good life when you can just, I don't ever want to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't either. Yeah. I've always said that. Lucas, he's worked at a old folks home, and he's like, yeah, I want to go before those days.
Yeah. You don't want to go to the nursing home.
I don't want to like live like that.
Right. I know. But he said that you're most likely that's what's going to happen. Of course, I know my next door neighbor is 95 years old, and she's still getting up and around and having a good time. And she's way sharper than I am.
Well, them homes are full of people who don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? And there's a lot more of them than there are these 95-year-old people that aren't there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, you don't want to go. I'm just saying, you don't want to fucking go. I say it all the time. I don't want to live to see the nursing home, okay? Whatever that takes.
It takes buying a long-term care policy. That's what it takes.
Oh, God.
Where would I get one of those, Big Klein?
Black Line Insurance Group. We can help you. That was a perfect segue.
Somebody writing storylines for porn just wrote that. You know what I mean? I'm here to fix the cobble.
Yeah.
Someone listening to this was like, they
hand stuck again?
they rigged that up perfectly. They timed that thing right on. He was talking about he don't want to go to old folks' home. And Ben
The
chimed
whole
in.
thing worked
Ben
like we
talked
did.
to
All the way around, yeah.
That was
Excellent job,
So
sir.
what's your next 40 Ben?
we're the most unscripted podcast in the world.
There's no fucking direction at all. It's
Right.
a shit show.
But there-
I love it.
Yeah.
I love
love
it.
it.
When people ask me what it's about, anytime somebody finds out we do it, they always say the same thing. Well, what's it about?
And what do
I'm
you
like,
say?
I say it's about nothing.
I say
It's
anything and everything.
I say we talk about whatever we want to talk
and
about.
we go in whatever direction, and we may circle back around, and we may not.
Dude, it's funny whenever people find out, like these guys I work with, when they find out that we do podcasts, some of them are like, really? And they'll ask some questions, and some of them are like,
Won't you
What?
grow up?
yeah, they're like, what?
Yeah.
You know, and those guys, I'm like, those are the guys that I really talk to them about. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm like, well, man, you got to understand,
Yeah.
you know, if you ever wanted to say anything, and most of these guys don't, you know, they don't want, they're like, nobody gives a shit about what you think. I'm like, I know that.
I love the
I don't
people that
care.
do that. Why would I sit there and listen to you talk?
Yeah.
When-
Yeah, well, they do.
I know.
You know what I
but
mean?
People like
They
like
damn
to
sure
say
do.
That.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, you know, it's not for
You
everybody.
don't like it, you suck. That's cool. That's what I tell them.
Yeah.
I say, you know, I've had people go and listen to it. Like these guys, once they found out, they went and listened to some episodes.
Yeah.
Because, and they didn't tell me that they went and listened to any of them.
Of course not.
But we're sitting there talking about something else, and they'll bring up something that I said
You're like,
in
wait
a
a second,
podcast.
yeah.
And they're like, well, not all of us are this, and this, and this. And I'm
Right.
like, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, I knew it. You know, you try to act like it was bullshit, and then you went and listened to it, you know.
Well, we started this podcast before podcasts were cool. You know what I mean?
Dude.
Everybody seems like they have a podcast
Yeah, I got
now.
a podcast I've been doing about a month now. Y'all ain't been listening.
Who?
Me.
Well, let's
didn't
kick it out here.
No.
You didn't tell me what it was.
Kind of podcast.
You never told me about it.
Yeah.
You never told me about it. My next 40 years, man, you know, everything revolves around my kid, man. You know what I mean? I mean, both my kids, we got 3, but,
both of them.
Drank
Both.
7 out of 6 beers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Math is not your strong point.
Yeah. I hope to get better at math.
I was just, I was just
I'll learn
learning.
how to count good.
Very true. Very true. You can't say that stuff. Remember when I said that stuff
Oh,
one
yeah,
time?
I know.
Man,
I
it's-
say count. I didn't say talk.
This girl had a a speech impediment,
Yeah, speech impediment.
and I didn't know that. Okay, and she said the town that she was from, and I won't say it because it'll probably give it away. And I didn't know this girl,
Meanwhile,
and I said, "Oh, you can't even say it," and I just thought she messed up.
yeah.
Trent pulled me in the back, and
He's like, you jackass.
She's got a speech impediment. And dude, it was like, you know,
Let me save you from yourself.
Yeah.
well, it was too late.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And she laughed, but dude,
she went home and
she
cried.
she probably remembers it right now. You know what I mean?
Well,
She
that's
probably
what
thought
happens
about it today.
When a man is
And I
the kind of
felt
person that speaks his
terrible.
mind, you're going to do that from time to time.
All the time when it comes to Benny Klein,
Yeah.
I got to learn to keep my damn mouth shut. I got to shut up.
Well, yeah.
You know, I got to shut
You're
up.
not going to. You'd have done it.
Yeah.
You
I
what
know.
You would have already done it if you
What's your next 40, dog? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That's a damn good plan. I need to get on that plan myself.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if I haven't learned it by now. I don't think I would. Man, I don't really.
Do something.
You better get a plan, bro.
I don't have anything that I want to do. You know what I mean?
No, nothing.
Not really, to be honest with you. I mean, it ain't that I'm just like,
Man, if you're happy, you're happy.
well, I'm just saying, you know, my son's still, you know, he's still in little school, you know, so I just want to be a good dad.
Little school
I
or
want,
middle school?
I
What'd you say?
want,
What the hell
I
did you
want
say?
Little school.
It's middle school, right?
No.
You could say little school,
And it was
I
a
guess.
joke. It was a joke. He's still in little school.
Not a
He's
very
still
funny
little.
joke,
You know?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
at some point, what are you going to do when he gets hair under his arms? Are you going to shave it off? You're like, no,
Probably.
Bro. No, bro.
I'm like, no, baby, you can't do that. My baby boy, come here.
Well, maybe you'll be like Carter was, you know, and he's like 15 years old before he finally gets hair under his arms, and he kept coming to me saying,
He'll probably be about 16 if he's like Benny Klein.
dude, that's why.
I was 16 years old in Canada and didn't know I was growing hair on my face because we were in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
We were in the middle of the woods in a cabin, and there was a little bitty mirror somewhere, and I just so happened, did I tell this on the podcast already? I just so happened to look in that mirror and saw that I had probably 5 million pimples on my nose because I'd been eating sugar cookies all week that we brought in with us because we had to catch our own food.
Yeah.
Right?
So we're starving.
Man shit.
But we had snacks too, you know. We had some canned food, but we catching our own fish, or we're eating our own fish that we catch. And I'd been eating way too many sugar cookies, dude. And my whole entire nose was like just one gigantic pimple.
No one could tell you that?
No. That's what I said. I still tell him that day. I was like, yeah, I'm fishing with you every damn day in that boat, and you see that I'm changing, and I didn't even know it.
Oh, gosh, you're changing right here.
And I said, I was so embarrassed, even though I was with dudes.
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed because I never felt that before. You know, I'd all of a sudden have a little, hair and stuff on my face, and I'm like,
a little tingle in your sack. And
are you freaking kidding me? You know? But yeah, I was after it was after I was 16. You know?
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh, you did wait longer than me. I was 15.
16 years old, and I didn't start growing until way after that.
Dude, I remember. I was in Wilburton before I went through puberty, and I was like in football practice.
Oh, that's the worst.
Changing, and these guys, everybody's got hair in their arms. You know what I mean? Daryl Beecham's like looked like a grown man with his shirt off, and I'm like, I don't even want to take my shirt off because my underarms are fucking bare. You know what I'm saying? I was so glad when I started getting hair finally, dude. Oh my God.
Did y'all get like stupid hair? Like I was not an early bloomer by no means, but I remember like in 6th grade I had like one.
I got
hair.
one. Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
And it was
really
like that
remember.
for 2 years. Like, what the hell's that?
No, I didn't do that, but it came in pretty good.
You came in like a man when you came in, didn't you?
Yeah, and it may even started before I was 16 with the under my arms, but just a little bit,
Well, see now,
I don't really remember. To be honest with you.
You always had them nipple hairs, though, huh?
Yes,
Yeah.
dude, that's
you should see my back and my stomach right now on my chest, dude.
Show us.
It is.
If you're not on
It
YouTube,
is.
you better watch us on YouTube.
It
Break
is
it out.
the hairiest I've ever been in my entire life.
By the way, if you're just listening on your radios in your vehicle right now, Ben is standing up, spread eagle, butt naked, showing us his ass hairs and his back hairs.
You don't want to see my butt.
Get on
hair,
YouTube now.
it's incredible.
I don't do coffee podcasts on YouTube. Go subscribe. No, but for real, go subscribe.
Yeah.
For real.
We got to get our subscriptions up. And it's because, you don't have to watch them. Even if you don't watch them, still go subscribe. Yeah, I'm real hairy right now. But I'm going to the beach next month.
So you're going to be smooth.
I love going to the beach,
Are you
man.
going to smooth it out?
You're dang right I am.
Yeah, you're going to be faster
I'm
swimmer?
going to be fat.
Yeah.
I'm going to be fat.
I wish you
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I worked out a little bit
If
yesterday.
you're going to be fat, you got to be hairy. You can't be...
I know, it's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, God, what am I going to do,
Play it by ear.
Keep fucking around. You're going to have a headache the whole time you're at the fucking beach.
Stress.
Well, I worked
about
out
it.
yesterday.
I look fat and I'm hairless.
A little workout before we went to the game, and I was feeling it today. I'm sore, but I'm kind of feeling that headache too. So I'm like, God,
Take that fucking hat off, bro.
it's from the workout. I can't do nothing. I can't do anything. I wish I could explain it, but I can't do nothing.
Oh, no, you've explained it.
I have explained it.
You've explained,
explained it.
You've
Man.
explained it all the way back from Tulsa one time. I'm like, I was like, I've been talking to you for like an hour and a half. He's like, yeah, I'm pulling into my house. I'm like, what the hell?
Dude, it does. It wrecks my life. It really does. It has wrecked my life, but it is getting better. He is doing a damn good job. He told me the other day, he's like, man, you're barely out today. I was like, oh, awesome. But he said, I can get you you're going to, he goes, a lot of people will get to that 75% mark where they're 75% better. He said, but that last 25% he goes, everybody's different, and it could take you 4 years. He goes, it took me about that long.
Salesman, ain't he?
No, it's working. You know what I mean?
Obviously.
Yeah.
It's working. It's working.
Yes.
It's
that placebo thing. So they're
definitely.
expressing those anal glands, and
Yeah,
next thing you know,
not
it's like,
saying
my
it's
head
gonna
don't
take
hurt
you-
at all, bro.
Yeah, I ain't saying it's gonna take you 4 years like some people, but be ready for it. Just
Well,
in case.
here-
you're at 19%, man. We're just a little bit.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah.
You know,
Here's
for
my
3 to
thing.
4 trips a week. Yeah, it's not.
No,
uncommon.
for that last 25%.
No,
Yeah, just to get it.
I'm on phase
if you
2.
really want to get over it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm on phase 2, so I'm on
we're-
once a week now.
Oh, we're in phases.
if you want to truly feel good again, you know, and
It's coming out of listen. It's coming out of my own pocket, and when you know Benny Klein is paying out of his own pocket, gas
I've
ain't
always
cheap
known
right
you
now.
steal shit. So.
You know, right? You know, I would not be going
Yeah.
if it was not helping tremendously.
It seems not to be, but
It seems not to be.
you did go through a spell there where you were wrecked for a while. I was like, damn.
I was worried.
Almost 5 years.
No, it got like drastic there for a while. Like we wouldn't hear from you for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Whenever the witch doctor thing
Yeah, but
come
even
around, damn, it
yeah,
was bad.
but even before that, y'all didn't know because I'm not a complainer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Well, it must have got.
every day, well, I'm not going to be like complaining all the time. But I'm just telling
It
you.
must have got worse because you
Every-
got to where you're talking about it.
Well,
Fucking talking about it.
yeah,
Right
because I can't work out.
Yeah.
it's replaced CrossFit for what you talk about. All
I'm
the time.
skinny fat, and I don't like it.
No, you're just fat now.
Right? Yeah, yeah. Very
I hate
true.
being when he says I'm fat. I'm like, shut up, dude.
Yeah, you don't
Well,
know. You have no idea. I wouldn't mind getting to the size you are right now. I'm stuck where I am. So
Well, we're going to talk about that too. But the next 40 years, man, raise my kid,
Okay.
be a good
He's
Faja.
gonna be out of the house in like 5 years. Man.
So we're talking about that. So after he's out of the
you
house,
can't talk about that. That's not. It's not. He already said it's off limits. You can't talk about your
kids,
kids. None of that
wives,
shit.
Oh, we can't talk about that.
That's
Oh,
not-
I wasn't paying attention.
that's
I
the-
never pay attention to what you say.
you got headaches.
Yeah. Oh man.
You got nothing.
Don't tell me you're gonna fly to the moon either. Give me something attainable. What are you gonna do?
I ain't leaving this earth. Okay. I ain't leaving this earth.
Drive the podcast to a level where we're
Yeah.
multi.
You know what? Really, I would love to do that.
There you
I
go.
really, that is really a goal for me for real. And I hope it's a goal for you too.
If you show your butthole on here, it'd probably help.
I'm not talking about millions. Yeah, it would.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
And what do you want to do for the pod?
if I
Spice it up.
if I unzip my pants, that would help too.
I don't know if I agree, but
Those people would laugh at me.
I would do that.
Yeah, I want to grow this. I want to grow my other business too. Both. You know, I want to be successful in this business though, for sure. Podcast business, 100%.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere.
Well, I just thought that sounded
It
stupid.
takes you
to
a
people.
long ways to get there.
Well, I figured it would sound real
Come on.
stupid to
Yeah.
somebody.
Come on.
You know what I mean? That's what I think about. I think about, you know, my insurance business constantly, and I think about the podcast constantly.
And me and Lucas.
And, you know, my wife, of course, and my kids, and you and Lucas. And since your birthday's in March and ours is in May, you know, we talked about this a little bit, but I would like for us to go on go to Tulsa and hang out, or go to Oklahoma City or something and do something together, you know, like we did.
I'm
Back in the day?
do a boys trip.
And
Maybe
Huh?
Aspen.
just boys.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever. I don't care.
We could do a TikTok sesh where we make like 40 different TikToks.
Oh.
We got to promote, man. We can't just do this shit on the.
Well, I've gotten better, right?
Oh, yeah.
Have I gotten better
Oh,
at
yeah.
putting out content?
Yes, you have.
It's not as much as I'd like to, but it's going to get more. I'm getting better at it.
Oh, yeah.
And I know the videos that we've put up on TikTok and stuff, they're kind of, you know, like Flip said, get a new camera. And I'm like, well, dude, here's how I'm doing this. Okay. I'm taking video we've already taken. And and so when you zoom in, you know, and you only record it at 1080p or whatever, it don't look that great. But
Well, it's an Android. I mean,
It
what
sucks
what
on
what are
Android.
you gonna do?
and then somebody
with an
commented
With a
on
child, we can do with a child's phone.
somebody commented right. So we need to get a camera. But
You
somebody
got the
commented
Nokia of
on
smartphones.
YouTube
I mean,
about my pans on mine, you know, because it pans constantly, huh?
How do people do that?
What?
You've had that Sonic Cup the whole time here. Like
It's
I get
different.
one, it lasts 5 minutes. If
I'm not.
This
not
was
that way.
Amy's in the refrigerator, and I stole it.
but how's it been here with liquid in it this whole time?
It hasn't. It's in the. It was when we took a break.
Oh, there was one right there.
Yeah, and I took it. Yeah, it's in there.
It and you saw your wife.
Somebody was commenting about the pans. They're like, so many pans, it's killing me or whatever. I forget. It was funny because every clip, every time every cut, it would pan. It would zoom out or zoom out.
What's
zoom
wrong
out.
with that?
Well, they were like, my epilepsy's messing me up. It was funny to me, but they were like, too many pans. And then I put yours up a couple days ago. They were like, where are the pans? I came here for the pans. I want the pans, I'm like, well,
Can't make anybody happy.
I'm like, I've used them up on that other one. We don't have any more.
You only get somebody a month.
And I want to bring up something real quick while I'm thinking about it.
Oh, God.
Eric Kitchell sent me a message, okay, from our last podcast. He had listened to it, and we gave a shout out to the new Mexican restaurant downtown, right? Or not downtown, but the one that's out there on the highway.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, and I don't have my phone with me right now, but I'd like to. He said it was absolute trash, and he did not appreciate that. He's
Recommendation,
right? He said I went specifically because you guys gave it a shout out, and he goes, "Tell Lucas." And I was like, "That sounds about right," because I went one time, and it was great.
I go a
Is it one
lot.
by the stockyards?
No.
This is the one that's where
Carl
Hardee's
Jr.'s.
and Carl's Jr. used to be.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible.
I love that place, man.
Still go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Wes loves it. I think people got certain different tastes, man. Like
Yeah.
Mexican food,
Especially when
I
it
know
comes to
most
Mexican
people-
food.
I'd take that back. I don't anybody like that. For me, I don't like it. Other
Yeah.
people I know they really like it.
Yeah.
For me, I'm old school, baby. That El Charo.
I love El Charo.
Yeah.
But see, my wife don't like El Charo.
Really?
So,
Really?
yeah.
And see, that's one I haven't ate at or eaten at in a while.
Money gang.
So
But I've
I'm
always heard
kind
good
of
things
like
about it.
Jules Winfield on that. He's like, my wife, my girl's vegetarian. Pretty much makes me a vegetarian. I mean, it's,
Right. So what's
Yeah,
your
baby,
next
you're right.
40?
El Charo sucks. I hate it.
Well, what's your next 40?
I said I don't ever want to die. I want to live a life to where I never want to die.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to die either, dude. I want to meet my great grandkids. I want to watch them grow
You know,
Nah.
yeah.
all the way up, bruh. For real.
I'm not that interested in living that long, dude. And I'll tell you why real quick. My
Well, yeah.
granddad died when I was 10. And the coolest thing I think about my granddad, and anybody that knows me has heard me talk about him. He's a pharmacist and a rancher and that kind of thing. The coolest thing about him is that he died when he was 68 years old, right? It's the age my dad is now. And I was 10 and I'm 45, almost 45. And there are things about the way that he lived his life that I still use. That I didn't even know, I was 10. I didn't know him that well when he died, I mean, I'd like to think I did, and I spent a lot of time with him, but he's one of those people that he was so, he did things so well. And what I mean by that is like the choices that he made with his life turned out well because he committed to a lot of the things that he was doing, like full on commit. He didn't get his pharmacy degree till he was in his 30s. I mean, it was kind of one of them things where he was teaching high school chemistry and he hated it. So he started cooking meth and selling it. That's Breaking Bad.
I was going to say, I know this plot. What the hell?
But anyway, but he decided that, he was going to he didn't like teaching. So he went and did something that made enough money where he could cowboy because that's what he really wanted to do. And he knew he couldn't afford to just cowboy. He had kids and all that kind of thing like that. So he went back to pharmacy school somehow. And got through it and raised his kids. And it was just a full commit. Well, he was enough of an influence. Like my mom still talks about him and the things he would, the wisdom that he would share and that kind of thing like that. That's the kind of thing that, not that I want to die young but the main thing that I want to do is for my kids, whenever I'm gone, is that legacy. You know what I mean? I mean, he left a huge legacy. Maybe by accident, I don't think he was necessarily trying to, but to be that guy, where he always had a plan. He helped everybody that he could. Anybody I've ever talked to, people when to this day, if they find out, if they're an older person and they find out that he was my grandfather, they're always like, "Oh, I remember Russell. Yeah,
What was his name?
Russell Johnson. And Russell Henry, that's where I got Lucas Henry from. They're like, he'd give you shirt off his back. He was an excellent guy, you know. And he was just a pharmacist. He was partially retired in Wilburton by the time he was in this area. You know what I mean? So that to me is something that's what I'd like to pass along. You know what I mean?
Maybe he did think about it though, because you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I know that a lot of the decisions he made, he tried to he didn't just whimsically do shit. You know what I mean? And that's something that I got from him. You know, even though I never went and got educated, I try not to just do shit. Now that I'm getting older, when I was younger, I would just say and do whatever. And it's cost me a lot, you know, but now that I get older and I'm like, dude, you know, I get to thinking about whenever I'm 65 or if I live to be 80, which I hope I do. If I do, I would like for people to go, if I lose my mind or some shit, be like, this dude was, you know.
He was cool.
He had his shit together. He was good to me, you know, and that kind of thing, because everybody remembers that. So that's something that's.
Another thing
so
is.
described to be Russell Henry's and Robert Brindley's. In here.
Well, that's how you live forever, dude, is that leave that legacy. That's, you know, because you're not physically going to get to, unfortunately.
Another thing that I want to talk about is your 1 year anniversary of your surgery.
Oh, God. Yeah, back March 1st.
And we don't got to. Just want to check in.
Oh,
hot girl check in.
Do it again.
Woo,
I'd do it again. I'd pay twice the money.
Okay.
If I'd have known what I know now, son.
Still happy.
Since I didn't have the gumption to lose it, you know, the strong way or whatever, I'd do it.
I think Russell Henry would not be happy with you.
He was it was very, very thin, but he worked his balls off all the time. You know what I mean? This dude was always
we were
working.
just thin back then. It wasn't fair.
Because they were always doing something.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
my
know?
granddad was working his, you know,
sweating.
You know, he wasn't just out there like, oh, I'm tired of some shit. He's out there like half dead, you know what I mean? Drinking coffee in fucking 110 degree weather and that kind of shit. So, but you know, yeah, it's going good. I feel good. I should eat better than I do. Still don't eat a whole lot, but I should eat better shit, you know, because I find myself going, I'd like to have Twix. That's the only thing I'm eating today. I'm eating a Twix today.
Look good.
Just one
got
thing.
A good attitude about you. That's
Appreciate
what I
it.
thought was funny. Like I've talked to people about it, and they're like, man, they don't just like let you do that. Like you got to like a lot of places you got to do like I guess in the States you got to do a psychiatric eval, this and that. And I'm like, why? Because like one thing about like being in better shape and feeling better is, or you feel better.
Yeah.
Like, your whole personality is better. Like me, like I know when to like reel it in and get back in the gym when I start getting kind of like shitty. I don't feel good. Well, all right, son, bitch, you gotta do something.
Yeah, time to move
my
around.
personality is starting to change a little bit. You know, I'm always a jackass and kind of snide in a joking manner. But you know, you noticed that, haven't you?
What?
Your
mood changes?
made you go,
Yeah.
I've never noticed that you have a smart aleck way about
Both of
you.
y'all.
Yeah. But definitely. I mean, it's always weird to me that they said that was part of it because like everybody feels better when they're in better shape.
Well, that's
No
what
one's ever said this damn 6-pack's ruining my life.
Yeah. Well, and right.
Yeah.
I knew I felt bad a lot, and I was starting to get aches and pains and stuff like that. But you know, I've said that before. I didn't know how bad I felt until I felt good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember, dude. I'll never forget. It was like, what was I? 3 months out or 4 months out? I think I wasn't 6 months yet, dude. And I woke up one morning. And it was just like, you know, a lot of the incisions had healed and all that kind of stuff like that. So it was just, and weight was just falling off. Mm-hmm. And I woke up one morning and I remember waking up whenever I was probably 14, 15 years old and feeling alive. Mm-hmm. You know, like when your eyes open, you want to fucking go run down the road, you know? And I woke up for the first time in, I don't even know how many years. Mm-hmm. I woke up and I was like, I feel like being up. I feel like I'm rested. I feel all these things that I hadn't felt in years that people I took for granted. You know, because you feel like shit in the morning. Oh, I'm tired, blah, blah. Well, now I don't feel like that. You know what I mean? I can take a shower now. Used to, it didn't matter what I did. I felt like shit till 9 o'clock in the morning, no matter what. Now, by the time I get out of the shower, I'm starting to feel excited about fucking doing something. You know what I mean? By the time I put on all my fucking FR bullshit for work or whatever.
Oh, you got to wear that?
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Every day. And, you know, and by the time I get in the truck, you know, I take Carter to school. I still get to do that, which is a get to for me because I know it's fixing to be over with. It's one of the things that's fixing me. You know, he's fixing to start driving. And so by the time we hit the truck to go to school, dude, I'm starting to get my day together. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I got this to do. I'm going to do this shit today.
Whip it.
Yeah, I feel like doing it. Whereas used to, all day long, I was like your grandpa is sitting on the couch and, and you leave, you don't talk to him for a minute. He's like, he's fading off. That was me.
Yeah.
At 42. I'm over here fucking trying to fall asleep.
Heroin.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It brought the weight off. You know what I mean? Took the weight off, so whatever.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the long answer to yes, I'm very glad I did it.
Feel good as shit. That's my answer.
Yeah. It changed my mindset, everything. Still yet to this day, it's different. I mean, I got my moments, of course, where I'm like, oh my God, this ain't working out or whatever, but not the weight loss, other shit, life or whatever. But all in all, shit, I'd do it again. Even knowing how nauseated I got, even whenever I take a drink of Diet Mountain Dew, it fucking hurts every drink. I'd do it anyway.
Right now, I'd take a drink of Diet Mountain Dew. That shit hurts anyways.
That's gross. Mountain Dew's gross.
I don't like Diet Mountain Dew. I like Mountain Dew Zero. It's very delicious.
What's the difference?
But
that's the Appalachian blood in you.
It's a huge difference, okay? Because Diet Mountain Dew's salty tasting. Yeah. But anyway.
Well, what else do we got? Anything else you want to talk about?
Let me look at my notes. Nope.
No.
I didn't realize it was that late.
Yeah.
What time is it?
12:31.
Oh, okay. Well, let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up, B.
What do you got?
That's what I tell the boys.
I mean, we can
wrap
do this.
it up, bro.
This is the best way to do it, man. Let's just wrap it up.
Do we want to do shout outs or are we done doing that?
Yes, we want to do shout outs for sure. Yeah.
You go first?
No, go ahead. Or do you need time?
I said me go first.
Oh, yeah. You go first.
Go to www.dudejerky.com. Get you some beef jerky. My buddy JJ, bow fishing partner, every once in a while, he started a beef jerky company, and we went scouting last week in Missouri, and he brought bags of it along. I think he got like 10 or 12 flavors. And I'm pretty damn picky about my beef jerky. It's legit. And it ain't like...
I saw an advertisement for it today. I didn't know that was anything to do with somebody you knew.
Yeah.
DudeJerky.com?
DudeJerky.com.
I follow a Facebook group. It's called the Waltarians. It's a Lebowski group, and it was because it's Dude Jerky, and they said something, and it had like the dude laying there, but he had, they'd superimpose a bag of Dude Jerky.
And that's him?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
He makes his jerky.
He makes it.
DudeJerky.com.
DudeJerky.com.
I'll be damn.
And Skylar Watkins, two of my buddies.
I did not know this, dude. That's
so
pretty neat.
two friends, they make the jerky.
They're
What
like
kind of
famous.
jerky?
I mean, if they've made it to Waltarians, they're famous.
What kind of jerky is it?
Man, my favorite's called the Kitchen Sink. He's got one called the Big O, Garlic Brooks, teriyaki. They got all kinds of flavors. The Kitchen Sink's my favorite. It's like all the different ones they got in one bag. But up to it's legit. And, you can go spend $20-$40 on some jerky, and it tastes like ass. This is good stuff.
Yeah. So it's beef jerky, all beef jerky?
Yep.
Dude, I'm going to get some of it.
Do it.
I'm definitely going to.
You going to let him know we plugged it on the podcast?
Dude Jerky.
That's even cooler, man. That's feels like I know somebody famous now, and I don't even know him.
There you
but
go.
I know him.
Where's he from?
They're from Fort Worth. Justin, to be specific, but no one knows where Justin, Texas is.
That's cool.
All right. DudeJerky.com.
I'll plug C4 Sports and Fitness for all your 7-on-7 needs for sure.
Is that they do other things too though, right?
Oh yeah, he's got they do a thing where people show up in the mornings and do not CrossFit, but
did you just do that?
It's a chair. It's done like 1,400 times. But anyway, yeah, they have like morning workouts, and they have a deal for kids to come in and they do fitness stuff, and he's got a gym, and they do speed and agility, and guys come in the afternoons and do stuff. They do all kinds of stuff, and they're a lot of fitness stuff. But his big push is to get guys that have, I guess you'd say, I don't remember how his slogan exactly goes, but it's like small town kids, making it to the big time. He's dedicated to these kids getting looks by college recruiters and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. I got two plugs.
Sean Coopers is the guy's name.
Sean Cooper at C4.
Yep.
We got DudeJerky.com. I want to shout out to the Tushka High School boys for winning state championship.
Cinderella story.
Definitely.
For real. Coach Zyke, a good friend of mine.
Okay.
So I had the privilege of being there. So I want to give them a shout out. It was really awesome.
Did you run out on the floor?
No, I didn't run out on the floor.
Scream, "Oh my
But, you saw my videos and stuff, so I did get some great video of it all.
Well, no, it's on that Android.
After
you got video.
Right, I got video after the
I saw some pixels.
after the
Yeah.
game and all that. And then I want to shout out, of course, to our McAlester high school girls for winning the state championship.
Yeah.
And that was my niece is on the team, so that made it even better, for me. And I didn't get to go because Amy didn't feel well. When we woke up, we were going, and she's like, I do not feel good, so just go. And I was like, we'll just stay home and watch it. So
You go, okay, boys' day.
right.
Man,
No, I wanted to be there, man. I wanted to be there because, especially going to Tushka, and seeing that, it was just great. It was this awesome thing to be a part of, just to watch,
Oh, it's pretty rad for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, I
mean,
think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I don't know the guy personally, but I remember seeing him around you and talking to him at games and stuff. So pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And that's all I got. I don't drink coffee podcast,
You ain't got to go home.
but you can't stay here. This episode is brought to you by Blackline Insurance Group.